Hello and welcome to Good Brews, Bad Views, the podcast that asks if great beer makes bad movies any better. I'm your host, Max.
And I'm Ryan.
And I'm James.
And welcome. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, how this is going to work is we are going to watch a bad movie, drink some good beer, and see how the entire endeavor goes. So, before we get started though, Ryan and I, we've been on some adventures as of late.
Beer adventures.
Yeah, beer adventures specifically, yes. The weather has been kind to us, at least around here. So last weekend, girlfriend and former guest of the show, Stephanie, and I went down to Columbus and Cincinnati and hit up a dozen breweries over 3 or 4 days. Notables being Urban Artifact, which is a brewery in Cincinnati that's in the basement of an old church. They have all the brewing facilities upstairs. Some really quirky off-the-wall stuff they had there. Most notable being the Cherry Blood Orange Parfait, which is a fruit beer where they made a jelly or some kind of they ground up fruit, put it into the keg, and distribute it somehow. It was very refreshing, very weird. I'd never had anything like it, but we have one of their beers for later in this episode.
Yes. Yeah, you've promised a dick-kickingly good.
Yes,
so.
yes, a dick-kickingly good Gosé. Another brewery we stopped at was called Fretboard outside of Cincy. This brewery really, really commits to the rock theme. I was gonna
ask, is that was it rock guitar themed or
yes,
just a bunch of people worrying behind the bar?
No. It was actually rock guitar themed. They have a bunch of steel wire strung over the bar to the opposite side of the wall across metal slats to look like a fretboard. Their logo is the state of Ohio with a fret on it with where you put your fingers and whatnot. All their beers are named after musicians, songs, or music related stuff. They had a barley wine called Coltrane, which was amazing. They have a huge stage within the venue, and they have concerts 3 or 4 times a week. I feel like
that's pretty cool.
So. Now, Ryan, where have you been recently?
So I went out west with my girlfriend, and we visited Utah and Arizona. Notable locations like Bryce Canyon, Zion National Park, Antelope Canyon, stuff like that. But so I got to taste some of the beers from out west from a few different places. I went to the Zion Brewery. Let's see, what's this one here? Sorry, I got to flip through my phone to remember these. So we went to a lot. There was only really one that actually had good beer, and it was the Historic Brewing Company in Arizona. They had a lot of interesting stuff. I'm trying to get back to this other one here. The Uinta Brewery they had some good Hefeweizens and Kolsch type stuff.
Oh yeah, we can get some Uinta beers around here at our local Meyer.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
James, you're a fan of that brewery's beer that you've had?
Yeah, there's a hopped dark ale they do that I like.
Is that? I have a menu here. I took a picture of. Is that maybe the Hop Nosh?
Nope.
All right, good talk.
Yep.
I also tried one from Wasatch Brewery. Wasatch, however you say that. It was an amber ale. It was really good. But yeah, I've got a bottle from Historic Brewing behind us, and I can't remember what it is. I think it's barrel aged kettle sour. So we may crack that open today. We'll see.
I haven't seen. I'm starting to see some weird barrel aged varieties of beers, like barrel aged IPAs, barrel aged kettle sours. Something, change it up.
I went somewhere too.
Where have you gone, James?
Yeah, how exciting are you?
Yeah, I know. On a work trip, I was delayed in O'Hare, which is the 3rd worst airport in the country to get delayed in.
What are the other 2? I'm going to guess LaGuardia is one of them.
Yes, that's true. That's number 2, but Atlanta is the worst. Well,
really?
LaGuardia is probably the worst to get delayed in because it's the most garbage piece of airport ever. I just hate Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So, not the city, the airport is awful. I can't stand that airport. Anyway, and inside of O'Hare is a Goose Island tap room thing they have. And I had a light Belgian style beer, which doesn't sound like it's a thing.
Like a Belgian gold ale, or
no, like a light farmhouse ale.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. They do make some.
It was called Matilda.
Yes,
and it was really good.
Yes, that is a fine Belgian ale, yeah.
I don't understand why Goose Island sells none of its good beer
They,
outside of Chicago.
They actually do sell Matilda at some of the larger Myers I've seen. They sell it in Bombers.
Oh, okay.
And they, I've seen they have like a farmhouse case that I once received as a gift for cat sitting that had Matilda, Sophie.
I had Sophie also.
And a couple other of their farm.
Matilda's better.
Yeah, Matilda was better
So.
of the beers in that. So yeah, those beers do exist around here, but they're not as widely available as like 312 and whatever they call their wheat ale.
Just beer, basically.
Yeah,
Goose Island beer.
Goose Island beer. Yep. So expect more reports of interesting beer years and breweries that we've been visiting as it's now the summer. At least the weather says it's summer. But back to the reason you're here: bad movies and good beer.
Or you lost a bet.
Oh yeah. If so, we're sorry.
Or you entered a contest.
Right. We lost.
Okay, so for this episode, we're watching Speed Racer, directed by the Wachowski Sisters. Released back in 2008, based off of the popular 1960s, early 70s manga and anime series. So we are watching it on Ryan's Blu-ray copy because this is a good movie to own and to watch on a big TV because it's very, very colorful, as you'll soon find out if you're watching along with us. We have the movie queued up to about 26 seconds into the opening credits. The Speed Racer logo has just stopped on the screen. So, you guys want to add anything before we get on this magical, colorful ride?
This is, if you're watching along with us and you have epilepsy, you probably shouldn't watch this movie.
That's a fair disclaimer.
And I'm not joking.
Yeah, that's not.
We wouldn't joke about that, but like two,
I might
really.
I'm gonna use that as like the tagline for when I post this on like Facebook or Twitter. It's like, warning: do not watch if you have epilepsy. No, seriously, do not watch if you.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane visually.
Yep.
Whew. Oh, I'm ready though. I'm ready for my eyegasms.
All right, Ryan, why don't you count us in?
All right, so if you're watching along at home, press play now.
So yeah, this is probably the most colorful movie we have watched.
This is probably the most colorful movie ever made.
Yeah.
Probably. So one of my comments when I saw this for the first time in the theater was that this movie contains more colors than actually exist.
Yeah.
Like, this has new colors. You've never seen these colors before.
The only movie that's nearly as colorful, which is also a racing movie, would be Redline.
Yeah, that was fun watching that over
Yeah.
here. Crank that shit, man.
Yep.
When they cut in on Speed's little knockoff Converse there, I like that there's the car shape.
Yeah.
But also very, very lightly drawn is the number 4 in a circle.
Yeah,
right in the spot it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So the opening scene here is a young speed racer at school, clearly not focusing on his studies like a good little boy.
Yeah. Literally just says blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Here we see Susan Sarandon as Mrs. Racer.
Yeah. Again, this is the principal's office, and it is a room which has a red door.
Lime green upper walls,
Yeah.
upper halves of the wall.
Red lower half of the wall, and the two women in this shot are wearing bright orange and bright yellow.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't like I was saying, they don't make movies nearly this colorful anymore. And thinking back of like what else that's live action is nearly this colorful, the Cat in the Hat movie comes to mind. Or maybe some of Tim Burton's like Alice in Wonderland, which I think came out a year or two after this, where they were just like punch you in the face with pastels.
Yeah. This movie doesn't do pastels though, even.
No, but just something that's like very vibrant and colorful. Those are the two immediate things I thought of. Maybe the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when they're actually in the chocolate factory.
Some of the worst. I hated that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was good.
Right. So this is kind of a cool scene. We kind of get to see inside Speed's head as he's daydreaming here.
Yeah.
I actually really like the just hand drawn effects going on around him. That's cool.
And this is the first appearance of the Speed Racer song.
Yep.
Which
That's
gets remixed again and again and again. But I think this pretty much comes the closest to the
original.
To the OG?
score, yeah.
which I like as a nod to it's actually cartoons.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys watch a lot of Speed Racer growing up? I knew they used to have it on
Here and
Cartoon
there.
Network
I
or
did.
on Boomerang.
Yep.
It wasn't one that I particularly remember watching in comparison to like Voltron, but I know enough about the concept. It's Speed Racer. He has a little brother and a monkey who hide in the trunk.
Yeah,
this movie just looks ridiculous.
So
the movie's painfully green screened at times.
These are some of the worst parts of the movie right here.
I will say that I think
from a visual standpoint,
I will say I think the visual quality of the movie improves drastically the longer it goes. Or maybe my eyes are just getting like burnt in because of the colors.
I think it improves. To me, it improves the more fantastic the location it's in.
Sure.
Like every street USA is a weird way to show this, but the mountains and the ridiculous over-the-top racing arena and everything kind of fit with more of the bombastic color style of this.
Yeah.
Right. So I watched some of the special features for this yesterday, and it's really interesting. They go into a good amount of depth as to the visual style, as you may guess. But a lot of this weirdness is intentional because they composited the movie intentionally in such a way to make everything look flat. Like things almost always look flat in those scenes where you've got just like the cycling background. There's a lot of it's clearly green screened, but it's intentional
to meet with the old style.
Right.
That things are.
Yeah, the designs of the houses, they were very 60s, 70s modern. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like this, kind of your point, James, looks a lot better.
Yeah, it's so fantastical.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart looks appropriate in this place.
Yeah, he's doing like Mario Kart style drifting here.
So, Rex Racer here looks exactly like a young Eric Wilnalda, which you two won't know, so I pulled him up on my phone. He is
Explain who this is.
ex-U.S. men's national team star for soccer.
Oh, okay. Funny you should mention that. Let's transition into this beer we're drinking because it has a soccer relation to it. So, from Rhinegeist Brewery in Cincinnati, we have Stryker, an Imperial IPA that they released a few days before I was there. Now, what ties it into soccer is Rhinegeist is a huge, huge brewery. It's got to be at least 75 feet wide, 200 or 300 feet deep, so they can hold a lot of people. The MLS Commission was there on Tuesday. They hosted the announcement that Cincinnati got the team.
Yep.
Huh.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, the MLS is coming. But we're not saying why, but everyone's like, we know why they're coming.
Yeah.
So they had a huge stage set up for where they made the announcements. I'm not sure if Stryker is meant to be in tie with the striker position for soccer or football. The more correct name for it. But
Soccer's fine. Soccer's a
fine.
real name for it.
But also fun thing about Rhinegeist is the brewery is huge. So right now they have a 50-foot long Gallimimus skeleton, which is like a brontosaurus kind of dinosaur, just like chilling in the back of the brewery with a giant net around it. That they dug up in Montana and spent 7 years like researching it and putting it together. It's like an 85% full skeleton, and it's going to go to the National History and Science Museum come this fall. But until then, it's set up in a brewery with a giant net around it. So it's one of the few places that you can hold a giant 50-foot long skeleton. So, but back to the movie.
Bone trivia.
Yeah.
The cars in this movie apparently have the same suspension system as a shopping cart. Because if you watch the wheels, they just kind of independently move.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's real intentional.
And here we see the very, very classic Speed Racer move of jumping the car.
Mm-hmm.
Spring
The
jacks.
Mach 5.
Yeah.
I actually love this.
The little foam balloon.
Yeah, because they're like, well, people are going to crash all the time. How do we not have them die? Because this is a PG movie.
Yeah.
I feel like Emile Hirsch's entire performance in this movie is totally just cardboard.
It is.
Every bit of it.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Shia LaBeouf were both considered for this role. But JGL wanted to do G.I. Joe. And Shia LaBeouf had just done the first Transformers. So, important question we have coming up here. Does he actually see the ghost?
Yes.
Like he's playing Mario Kart?
Yes. I believe he does.
It's like probably like a little hologram they put up, to know how you're doing.
I would think so.
I think so. That's the impression I get also.
Yep.
So, flashing back here.
Yep.
To his brother setting the record.
Yeah.
I like how it shows the skill of his brother based on how he drifts around the corner as opposed to everyone just driving.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And I still
John Goodman.
Yeah.
He's a great mustache in this.
Yeah. I do like that his brother has that much skill, and when they cut back to the race where Speed is going, racing has evolved in the 15 or 10 years or so that his brother has been racing, and everyone now races like his brother.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think it's like, but that you can say that of any sport.
Well, I just like that they did that.
But that's something I did not notice. Probably because you only see this little one flashback race, but I do love all the different announcers they have here.
Yeah.
The filmmakers talked about how they really wanted this to feel like a very global event for everyone.
Well, the crowds are all very multicultural as far as well as just the main players. Like Speed's teacher's Australian. It sounds like. There's obviously Japanese or East Asian influences everywhere, obviously because this is what the source material is based on. But
so this is gorgeous.
That looks great.
Yeah.
It still looks just unbelievably
fucking great.
good.
Yeah.
Christina
Ricci's a little old for the role. She's like 31 at this point.
She doesn't really look it.
No.
Young Trixie is Ariel Winter from Modern Family.
Yeah.
So 100 cars were designed for this movie.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it. They have a lot of concept cars as like the cars on the road too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Trying to dig through my list of facts here. I got some good ones. Only 18 actual cockpits were constructed.
she throws a good punch.
Go Trixie.
She leaned to that real good.
Yeah.
Leaned
I
into
do
it.
like the chemistry between the two characters. Like I don't hate the child actors in this movie. We've had some pretty bad ones, so it's refreshing to have some nice ones.
The actor who plays Spritle,
Okay.
it's not his fault, but
They use Spritle too much in this. I'll get that out of the way.
Yeah, he's in it quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He reminds me in the face. It's like they took Corey Feldman now and like youngified Corey Feldman, made him fatter, and put him on this kid. That's what he looks like to me.
De-aged him and put him in a fat suit.
Yeah. This annoyed me the first time we saw it. So we got Speed coming home to the racer garage here. And everyone's in the garage working on something.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan. Damn you, John Goodman.
Yep.
Yeah.
His mustache sense is tingling.
Yep.
Charismatic old guy. Also, in this couple of things. All right, so what the hell's his brother's name? Why can't I remember it? Rex. Derp. Okay.
Apparently he couldn't throw it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 20 feet away from the garage.
Yeah.
How is that any faster than hurling it?
Yeah.
Also, in this super futuristic world that's built, why do bombs still tick?
Because all the gangster stuff is old school. They have grease gun machine guns.
That's
all the cars they drive are 68
okay.
Fenderson or whatever.
I'll take that enough.
There's an obvious retro quality to them that the filmmakers wanted to have to make them stand out within the film.
All right, I'll buy that.
So what do you guys think of this beer? Stryker Imperial IPA, 9.3 ABV. Claims to have an IBU of over 100.
Really?
Yeah. When it gets that high, you can't really taste it.
I don't believe that.
Well, you need a malt like a malt bill large enough to accommodate that hop bill. So you really can't. Supposedly the human mouth can't taste above like a 75 or something like that. So it's one of those like, ooh, let me get some of that 100 ABV beer or 100 ABV beer. Yeah, let me get some of that pure ethanol.
Yeah, just
the 100 IBU.
I don't know. Given the numbers you just shared for this, I'm a little surprised it drinks as easily as it does for me. This is pretty agreeable.
Yeah,
as an IPA.
Mr. Thorpe.
Yeah, it's easy drinking if unremarkable.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'll give it that. When we went to the brewery, it was just like piss hot. It was like 90-some degrees. There's no AC in the place. Just like those big ass fans by the company, big ass fans, and like struggling to get through the beers. Just like it's so hot.
Oh my god.
This is one of the few dark scenes in the movie. when Rex is walking out on the family.
Dark visually.
Good use of the lighting.
That you learn a whole lot about later.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly designed to relay a lot of it. I mean, it's raining outside and everything, so it's supposed to be a sad, brooding.
Yes.
And they
you can see his dad's choking up a little bit.
Brood mood.
Good use of colors here, even.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they cut back, and Rex is gone, and everything is still dark and sad, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're watching it on TV. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon looking concerned.
Yeah.
Panning to announcer man.
Yeah.
I really like all the cuts in this movie, like how they do like the announcers pan in rather than just like, talking heads, like from scene to scene.
Yeah.
Sports shouting.
Yep.
So yeah, it's interesting because he's like, well, my big brother's kind of a bully.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's a badman.
Yep.
Speaking in Italian.
I like how the guy's like a disgrace to his family, disgrace to his mom.
And
He's
here
beating
he's
up-
fighting the kid from Up.
Yeah.
Or
Were you gonna call him Woody?
Yeah. Or Buzz.
right.
Just like a sheriff.
This is a clever way to get exposition across.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like exposition.
Yeah. It just feels like the passage of time.
It's a very kinetic way to convey what's going on.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Spooky cave with Skullface.
Yep. Even the flame looks good there.
Yeah.
So are we to believe that Mom and Pop Racer just popped out another kid after they lost one?
Yeah. I assume so.
There's no like baby Spritle or whatever like in any of these scenes. So part of me's like, oh, okay. I do like how emotional they are like in the stands in this one scene, or excuse me, in that previous scene there where they can tell he's gonna beat the ghost.
Yeah. I really do like all the cuts to the announcers shouting in different languages. It's great.
Yeah.
God, man, it's just prepare, folks. There's a lot of me just fawning over this movie's looks. These visuals.
This scene right here to me, Max, is why he knows
why he knows that
why he knows because he can see it.
Yeah.
It's clear that
and that's why he pulls off.
He's looking at it. He's crying. It's not like he's just looking at the clock or something like that.
Yeah. CG crowd.
I think part of that crowd is real, and then they probably
just copied it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very obvious.
So this whole sequence reminded me of one of those really heartwarming stories you find on the internet every once in a while. So a guy, he was younger, I guess, when his father passed away, and his dad was a big gamer, and he it was like a rally racing game or something along those lines. So he when he passed away, his dad's stuff got put away. Well, he pulled his dad's system out, and that game was in there, and he turned it on, and his dad's ghost was on there.
Oh, I think
I remember reading about that. Yeah,
and he
that's
talked
really
about
cool.
doing that exact same thing, racing, getting better at it day in and day out, and getting up to the point where he was as good as his dad, and he would continue to drive up to the line and stop and let his dad's ghost finish before
That's
he
cool.
would, so he could keep. He found a memory of his dad and was able to take it.
So here we have Spritle and Chim Chim going at it in their imaginations.
Yeah.
With this terribly animated thing behind them. But I feel like I would have been less annoyed because I was kind of disappointed in this movie and how some of the effects were, like in that opening scene, for example. But I feel like I would have liked it a little more had I known that it was a lot more intentional the weird layering that they did and how everything is in focus regardless of where it is.
Yeah.
To try and mimic that, just sliding images that we just saw.
That makes sense.
I speak for Speed.
Yeah.
He really likes cereal.
Yeah.
Corn pops.
Yeah. Does she have an avocado dress on?
Yes, it looks like it.
So much color
Yep.
everywhere.
Some weird flower print that my mom has something very similar of. Maybe it's a tablecloth that's very similar to that, but yeah, it does look like avocados almost.
Yeah. Why is everyone not sweaty but him?
Yeah.
The mechanic. Like, he's not just dirty, he's sweaty.
Yeah. Sparky.
Yes, Sparky is perpetually sweaty.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to act. Not now. Not ever.
Yeah.
Spritle is very up to speed on his
He is,
earthquake
yeah.
safety.
He is.
He wants to be part of the USGS.
Sean Goodman's like, shut it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad green screen.
It looks worse on the chimp than
Yeah.
on Spritle, actually, because I think he has all those colors associated with him.
Mhm.
That it doesn't. That plane looks awful. by
Yeah,
the way.
imagine they just have a leaf blower just like
just outside of frame.
yeah.
The guy that clearly should have been Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Well, I forget the actor's name, but he was Louis Prothero from V for Vendetta, like the ultra right wing talking head
Okay.
Yeah, right.
from V for Vendetta. So
Which has some interesting connections to this movie. Okay, so James McTeague, who directed that movie in Ninja Assassin and Atomic Blonde. No, sorry, I'm screwing up some of my facts here, but V for Vendetta and Ninja Assassin. He was the second unit director for this movie, James McTeague.
Oh.
I love me some V for Vendetta.
So, Mr. Royalton here, spoiler alerts, is going to turn on this family.
very quickly,
And
dun dun dun.
even though you see it coming, and you know it's coming, and it's totally obvious it's coming,
yeah,
when it does happen, he sells it so well.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
one of the best parts of this whole movie when he turns on Speed.
And he's like, here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, part of me was like, is this like showing like what's going to happen? But it's like, no, this happens.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, we'll get to there when we get to there. But he comes off as like this kind of comic centric billionaire guy,
Right.
like the Lord from Parks and Rec. What's his name? When Andy goes over to London to be like the head of the
Oh, is
Oh.
it?
Yeah.
yeah
Right. Is that the one that? Oh my
who
God.
knights him.
Yeah, I can't remember the actor's name.
Yeah, whatever. But
I'll dig him up.
yeah.
The guy playing the Tick right now, Peter Serafinowicz.
Oh yeah, he is playing the tick
Yeah.
right now.
Peter Serafinowicz. Didn't even have to look at my phone. I
Yeah.
dug it out. So there are really in this movie only 3 physical sets. Everything else is green screen. This is one of them. The other 2 physical sets are Royalton's office and the Cortega Hotel later on.
I would say like the hotel room.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything else is green screen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine that making sets this colorful would probably be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, just the amount of
paint
painting
to
and
be this vibrant and bright would be really, really difficult to do.
Mhm.
as
everything's
someone
immaculately placed. Like, look at the orange juices and the orange. Like, they had some good set dressers.
yeah. Well, I mean, they only
Not
had
that they
sets.
not that they yeah. Not that they really ruined these sets or this set, but I guess there was that earthquake.
As someone who paints, getting vibrant colors that are very smooth is incredibly difficult. So I understand why they did a lot in green screen in that sense, because you can just, it's way easier to do.
Oh, for sure. Blah 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 blah. My name is Sure Smooth. Blah 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 blah.
He's just selling them I mean, he's selling them a bill of goods right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I liked Globocom too.
yeah.
Young, old Corey Feldman there does not approve.
The more I look at him, the more I see it now.
Yeah.
It
They
haunts
just
me.
transplanted Corey Feldman's face onto a fat kid.
This city.
That looks a little bit like Altered Carbon. That one main shot when Takeshi Kovacs comes out of the tanks for the first time and sees the city. Except it's not raining. So
Yeah.
different world.
And they're saying that there's not going to be a second season of that show, which I
don't need it.
perfectly okay with.
I don't need it.
Nope.
I recently finished reading the book and it's surprisingly different. Yeah.
The hallelujah with everything shining behind her is good. That's all. I think that's
all
fake candy. Actually.
No, there was Ring Pops and Juicy Pops. Those were. I got a second watching this for a second time. I've noticed some of the logos.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought they were fake logos.
Yeah.
Real quickly, speaking of logos, the artist for this movie designed more than 400 fake sponsors for the cars.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There is one car, I believe
Graphic
it's car number
designer's
53.
dream or nightmare? Question mark.
Right. There is one car that has 200 logos on it.
Really?
On just the one car. But yeah.
You know what that reminds me of, Ryan, is the old PlayStation game.
The old, like, Speed
Logo
Racer
designer?
PlayStation game?
No, it's the Wipeout
Yeah,
Oh.
fucking Wipeout.
that had all those brilliantly designed sponsors and logos and everything from a decade and a half before that design style became really prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want a weird, like, retro futurism, go look at some of the original Wipeout games. The designs and logos they have are, I'm not even kidding you, like 15 or 20 years ahead of their time.
Oh yeah. They recently they put out a re-release or a remake or a sequel of that game maybe 7 years
yeah.
ago. I feel like.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, like, this scene bothered me because it's just so...
So many segues.
Well, the first time I watched it, I was so bothered by how unnatural everything looked. But
Yeah.
watching this movie again, I'm just kind of on board with how ridiculous everything is, so it doesn't bother me as much anymore.
Yeah. I mean, some of the CGI in this looks really dated.
Yes.
Yeah. At times it does, and at other times it looks really, really, really good.
Yeah.
This is one of those at times.
Yes.
Scene.
Yeah.
I do like this set though.
Yeah.
The ridiculous tech jargon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wretched motors. And your little dog, too.
It's just the world's largest Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
I just love the guy hanging here.
Yep. God, that's one of those giant cat wheels.
Right. I might get one of them. What?
So,
is that person eating ramen on that screen?
Yes.
Is that what they're doing?
So 4G's of force is about the force you get on a merry-go-round.
Huh.
So
Max with the hot merry-go-round statistics.
physics, motherfucker.
This is a fun little just kind of...
This is
You know,
what feels like very like those live-action
Penguin
Dr. Seuss movies, like something out of like Cat in the Hat or The Grinch. Just how like ridiculous and over top all like the designs were. Like those are kind of like those are kind of like the weird technology I would assume expect out of those movies.
All
He's so smarmy. It's
I know.
So good.
This building doesn't exist. The entire building is fake.
I believe that. Looks like it would be one of those high luxury cars from Snowpiercer.
Fucking Snowpiercer.
I love that they're in this on a golf cart. Like that's
A stretch golf cart.
yeah. So none of those tables they're messing. The tables exist. In
Tables are real,
Okay.
So, like,
but
the walls.
the hall itself does not exist.
so they're on a green floor and
Yep.
everything else. Okay.
Mm.
That's
Generic raceman name.
Right.
Yeah. I enjoy this movie's ability to kind of mix together modern Formula One racing
Sure.
with the worldly stuff at the same time, with the old school nostalgia for racing at the same. It manages to mix those two things to a simultaneous existence.
Yeah. So you may be thinking to yourself, listening to this episode, man, you guys are really loving this movie. Does this qualify as a bad movie? We'll get into the problems that this movie has when we get to them.
It's
Because believe me, I have some real big problems with this movie coming to like the second act.
Well, why did we do this movie though, Max?
I wasn't the one who chose this one, but from what I understand about this movie had a budget of 120 million and made 93. So box office failure. But this is the 10th anniversary of this movie, and there's been a lot of revisionism to this film. Like, oh, was it an underrated gem that people overlooked in 2008, the year of Dark Knight, Iron Man, Hellboy 2, to name some of the more genre fiction-y movies. So, but
yeah, we're looking at it because of that exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not a good movie. But it's very entertaining. It's got a lot of stuff that is redeeming. Looking back at a lot of the critic scores for this, man, people shredded this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
some people
viciously.
Some people gave it praise for entertaining the demographic it was going for, which is like under the age of 15. Like we have to admit, like this is another kids.
It's a kids movie.
This is our second kids movie in 54 episodes.
Right.
Last one with John Goodman.
Yep. Second and a half if you count Small Soldiers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That had weird body horror stuff with dolls though. So. But.
So, in a movie that is just so boundlessly colorful and vibrant, Emile Hirsch's acting is completely flat and gray the entire time.
What else has he done recently?
He blames this movie for scuttling his career.
Really, does he?
Yes.
Okay.
He has been into some other things, but he's such a forgettable actor /face /name that I do not know if they are off the top of my head.
It didn't scuttle anybody else's career.
In his defense, everyone else is fairly well established in this, and he's not at this time.
Yeah.
He was in Milk, Into the Wild. He was the main lead in Girl Next Door, the first movie I ever
the comedy.
into.
Yeah.
Is Into the Wild the movie I'm thinking it is?
2007.
Is it, spoiler alert, is it the one where he dies in the bus?
Yes.
The picture
Yes.
of the,
I
the
hate
movie.
that movie.
Yeah, the movie is him sitting on top of a bus.
Hold on, let me rephrase that. I don't hate that movie. That guy made me so angry watching that movie.
Yeah,
Emile Hirsch?
No, like the actual character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Chris Candelas? I don't know, whatever. But no, yeah, here we have the mob in their like very classic like East End mobsters.
Right. Interrogation room, which has an interesting reveal as to where they are in a moment.
I know, I love it.
It's pretty cool.
Like the piranha's obviously CG,
Right.
and there's it's very anachronistic with the Japanese racer.
Right. Well, Korean, they're beating up K-pop star Rain.
Yeah. And with the wood everywhere and the clocks and everything else.
Yeah. And a very, very saucy piece of meat.
Saucy. CGI piranhas are
Pretty bad.
silly looking.
Yeah. Very, very cartoonish. Like, there's time in this movie where it almost gets too cartoonish.
Yeah.
And what I think that does is that it escapes the style of the movie, right?
Yeah.
There's a style that this movie establishes, and when it gets too cartoonish, it breaks that style. It'd be the same way as if it got too visually serious.
Yeah.
It's hard to drive with skelly hands.
That'd be a very cool driver, though.
Yeah, it
Skeleton
would.
Hand Man.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, 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 dun,
Oh my
dun,
God.
dun, dun. Like the phone is also
Ring,
rings.
ring, ring,
Yes.
ring, ring. Piranha phone. Boy George driving the fucking giant thing here.
I love the design of this truck.
Yeah. I like just all the artwork what's about to happen with all the artwork.
Right. a fucking 18-wheeler.
Yeah. Yeah. Grease guns.
All right, I'm going to eject myself for a moment here and locate my notes. They've squirreled away somehow under the
They
couch.
probably fell between the couch.
Yep, they fell.
Yep.
The 8 headlights, so
yeah.
cool.
It's like a what is it? Dodeka trucku in Japan, where like all the truckers just like bling the fuck out of their semi trucks.
Whew, I'm back. Everyone, calm down.
All right.
Yeah.
The classic Thompson.
I love the shooting portals.
Eat your heart out, Fury Road.
Being behind all the picture frames.
Yeah, it was such a nice little pull.
Coming up
You
here.
had no idea that they were inside of a truck either.
That was a very cool twist.
Yeah.
I love this shot coming up in a moment here. It's a red and black shot from the side of the road, that is. It's just, I think it's gorgeous. Missiles.
Yep.
That
Oh,
shot.
yeah, this shot
fucking
is
cool.
great. That's my favorite shot of the movie, I think.
I might be there with you, Max. We might be riding the same boner, buddy.
Speak for like how the guy's like, save the bust.
This whole sequence is just really, really cool.
Yeah.
Effective use of slow-mo without being too egregious.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's hyper stylized.
You notice he shot an X into the back?
Yeah.
Fucking piranhas, man.
What? His lower lip wiggling is great to me.
This is
like how they pause.
Kind of grisly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saved by not having just a giant cloud of red.
There was a
just a couple
little
bubbles
squirt of red in there, but
yeah.
The
he should be hamburger.
The flashing scenes right there.
Mm-hmm.
The colors go flying by.
So here we have the anti-hero driver Racer X.
The moon is a cool shot right there.
Yeah.
So interestingly, the X on his chest had to be raised from its initial costume design because when they started shooting, they found that it was too low to see above the dash a lot of times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves originally was he wasn't originally cast, but he was considered for this role.
Right, which makes sense.
I think would have been a great role for him to play.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I would have watched that.
Yeah.
So originally this movie was been tossed around at studios since like the 90s. So if you look into the history of this movie, there's a lot of like, then this person was on helm, then that person was on helm.
This is where he just rips into this guy. It's great.
Mm.
I like Racer X in this. I think he's played really well.
Yeah, I like Matthew Fox's X.
Yep.
Nice little shot there.
Yep.
Oh, there's just so much green screen.
Mm-hmm.
It still looks good to me though.
Yeah, this one looks good. This shot looks
Those
pretty
might
good.
just be actual fake bushes in the foreground.
I'm sure.
This is just a cool shot. The red everywhere.
Yeah.
Juxtaposed to the white, and I think this is one of the few times where you actually see Speed not wearing white. He wears white through a lot of this movie.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of vibrant red, which is again like that's not something you usually see, or I can remember last time I saw a movie with this much vibrant red. Not even Crimson Peak, but that was more of a clay, earthy red. A movie that me and Ryan have very different opinions about.
Yeah, for later discussion. I liked it. It was advertised as something very different from what it was.
Yep, that's because trailers are trash.
See, it's interesting because Christina Ricci, it's weird because her acting is appropriate for this movie, but it's just purposefully very cheesy to me. Which is a good thing. I think that's effective. Yeah. Whereas Emile Hirsch is just totally absent.
Well,
I feel like
she's been acting for 17, 18 years at this point.
Right.
So, like, totally. I mean, this isn't Emil Hirsch's first movie. He'd been in a number of things before this. Not well, maybe a couple of major leading roles, but Ricci had been acting since she was like 13 or maybe even younger than that. So that's why, I mean, like, they're supposed to be like 19, 20 in this.
That young, really? I didn't read him as that young.
Well, it's supposed to be 8 years since Racer X has appeared.
Okay.
So,
No. Oh, little Feldman.
yeah.
Just pleading his
Little
case.
Feldman.
Lil Felds.
Yeah.
I enjoy that question. Actually, really makes me laugh. Him asking for ice cream is good.
Yeah.
I believe the chimp is reading a comic book when they open up that too, which is great to me.
Yeah.
I shamefully do not know the Japanese actor's name here, but I love him as an actor. He is a great actor.
Yeah, he's fairly ubiquitous.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff, and I find him great in pretty much everything he's in.
Yeah. I do like how the faces are entering from the other side, from each side, to continue the conversation rather than just have those two guys standing there. It's nice. Just nice cuts.
You know, at times when it does stuff like that, it almost has just a vaguely Sin City type feel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, fucking that looked bad.
Yeah.
So another of the real sets, obviously not outside the window, but
Yep. And we're about to get the flip here.
Yep.
It's so good.
It's really, really good.
I like how it's like the trademark R with the trademark R.
Yeah. Also, I have no idea what that blinking thing is supposed to represent behind him, but it's
Stocks,
ridiculous
I don't
looking.
know. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
This giant.
All of those contracts are laid out. There are four parts of
2-inch thick
Yeah.
stacks of what I assume is just the
Beat a man
EULA
with-
for iTunes.
Beat a man to death with
Yeah.
one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've updated our terms and conditions.
Is Speed in purple here too?
No, he's in blue.
He's in blue. Okay.
Blue.
Because most of this whole set is purple.
Purple.
Yeah, or with
His
yeah,
jet
or
was purple.
his
the
pinstripes
standard-
are purple.
Yep.
Them windows is purple. That carpet is purple. And we find some stowaways here. The monkey in the mask is kind of funny to me.
I don't know if that's the same. No, I think that was. Part of me thinks that was like a dummy or like makeup, just because of the detail on the hands and the mouth looked much. In comparison to the mouth we see here, it looked much more prosthetic-y. I don't know.
Is it harder than acting? Wait, the family with the last name of Racer has a stake in racing. This is blowing my mind, you guys.
Yeah.
A purple hanky.
Yeah. Lots of purple in this. And I'm trying to think about whether purple appears in a lot of other scenes in this movie, and I don't necessarily think it does.
Generally with Royalton.
Yeah, it's all
yeah,
Royalton.
well,
Yeah.
Royalton, purple being the color of royalty.
Royal, yeah.
Yeah.
So anything really associated with him
But they,
is purple.
I think that's where
I like purple.
a lot this movie's resurgence has kind of come from. People,
Is the use of color.
well, not just the use of color, but people sitting down and kind of looking at it more from just like, oh, this looks ridiculous, right? You know, it's them actually taking a look to see what the Wachowskis were trying to do at a little bit of a deeper level. This scene's great too. Just
Yeah.
a dad and his son reconnecting.
And-
Yeah.
And this is a good because this is part of the payoff plot wise later when Royalton describes the circumstances of these races to Speed, and I think that's actually a really, really impactful, very negative thing to drop on that kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I will now destroy your world.
Yep.
And then he snaps his fingers and it all just dashes.
Well, it's a whole turn on the importance of the sport to my family and just be like, your world is a lie.
Yeah. Yep.
So please forget the part where I just called you the devil.
The devil. Yeah.
Maybe should have been his response to signing on to this film as well.
Yeah.
And then here it is.
Yep. Here's the twist.
Here's the Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. Could you think he's just gonna be like, you're going to sign that contract?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
here,
it goes
just
a
put on the upper lip of the Brits.
Yep.
Oh boy, if that isn't most of my younger life.
I
love that shirt,
Let's
though.
say what's current life do, Ryan?
Shh, quiet you.
I've seen you eat those chocolates at my house when we were playing Delta Green.
And the reveal from Royalton is because he just digs and digs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
digs.
Yeah.
Every sentence is followed by an even crueler sentence.
Yeah.
More cruel, more sinister.
I walk like that sometimes. There are a lot of rolled up jeans in this movie. Racer X, when he leaves, rolls up his pants.
That's a signal for something else these days.
Yeah.
No. I thought they
Yeah.
may have been the Six Sigmas.
Excellent.
Leaning on you, 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Capitalism! Ah!
Yeah, this whole thing is so good.
Yeah.
Again, exposition without making it feel like exposition because it's accomplishing something else at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not a lecture.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's but
engaging.
it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the another movie that we recently did that did this well was Deep Blue Sea, when she's giving him the tour of the facility, and it's exposition for the audience, but it has a different purpose inside of the movie, as opposed to just being like, let me teach you about what we're talking about, audience.
Right. Yeah. Cold fresh milk.
Sipping blue milk.
Yeah. Oh. Capitalism.
And I feel like this bit of his monologue for the younger audiences
is like way over their head.
it definitely it is, but I think it's purposefully done that way for them, so they would just be like, "Oh my god, this is the worst."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, this is weird because this is the year of like the recession starting too.
Yeah.
So, if anything, they do too many cuts to Sprockle and Chim Chim's little antics. Like, I know they do it to break the tension, but they do it maybe one too many times.
Yeah, I'm down with that. But also, I mean it's great, but Freebird here is just totally out of place with everything else.
Yeah. But I feel like it was
effective.
No. I feel like that's a post-production or producer or studio mandated little scene of like, you have this really, really dark scene and it just keeps going. Throw some into the kid and the monkey. But
And maybe that's just a less effective way of the Wachowskis being like, okay, we know that this is long and dark. Maybe we break it up with some antics, and it's not as effective as it could be, I guess.
Yeah.
please stop touching that like that.
Did anyone else hear a ding?
His face his entire facial features change in this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
He relaxes his jaw.
It reminds me a whole lot of watching Westworld with Dolores in her 2 different modes.
Yep.
Yep. And you know, I say that this is clearly should have been Tim Curry, but this guy just does a great job.
Oh, he's so great right here. I love it.
I want to say his name is like Richard Allen or something.
That is exactly what his name is.
Hey.
Oh, Roger Allam.
Roger
close.
Allam.
And here we get a little hint at what's to come.
Muppet Man.
Can't believe I fell for Muppet Man.
Yeah.
Come here often.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Is this the Village People reunion?
Yeah.
Good.
Part of me is like, is that a bag full of shit?
I'm brooding.
What?
Suit jacket. Yeah. Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
From the future.
This is a cool.
Music is
This is a
very
good
menacing.
transition.
Yeah.
So the racetrack designers for the movie actually brought in a bunch of video game designers to be like, "Hey guys, how do we do this?" Like,
Oh, really?
That looks
Yeah.
like an F-Zero course.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great. Again, more fantastical. It looks fine here.
Mm-hmm.
Where some of these tracks still struggle with me as far as being as pleasing as they could look as the texturing.
Yeah, this one doesn't. The
This
quality
isn't the
of
best
CGI
one.
is not good on
No.
this one.
But and part of it, I think, is because it's so bright. The external parts are so bright.
Yeah, against like that sky blue screen.
Yep.
That's the guy who played Honda in the
I was
Street
gonna
Fighter
say like,
movie.
oh my god.
Yeah.
The other guy looks familiar too. I like the bodyguards in white with their sunglasses.
Carfu.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do like the Carfu in this.
So they're about to go up this huge just loop here.
Just needs a meaty guitar.
Flamingo is so.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yep.
So the little like cockpits, the gimbals that everyone's
Yeah.
sitting in, the actors would sit in one, and it was like, you know, pneumatically and hydraulically controlled. They could shift around and fly around and all this stuff. And they would have a technician sit off camera with an actual steering wheel, and that person off camera would drive the track in real time.
Oh, really?
So
Cool.
that the thing that the actor was in would actually move around to the track.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
So part of me, I don't know if they talk about this, Ryan, but part of me when I watched this movie was like, okay, why are they moving around so much on the track? And I'm
The spinning?
yeah. And my assumption, honestly, is that one of the main features of the cartoon was that when they drive, Speed and the other racers would always be moving the steering wheel around. So I didn't know if that was an intent to kind of
Justify why they were
constantly
just you know.
just moving the steering wheel around.
Yeah.
I don't recall that being mentioned in the materials that I watched.
Back to the past.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Aren't you that guy from the Saw movies?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's from the Saw movie.
Way.
All this movie teaches you that British people are evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of cool that we're brought back to still the monologue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't include I'm going to see your mother's pancake recipe too.
Right.
Yeah. Is that cop's name Dowerface? Is that what the?
I wasn't watching.
Is that what the subtitles just came up with?
Yeah, because the kid that Speed was fighting was named Big Mouth. Gotta use the one.
Ooh.
Good work, Spritel.
Yeah.
Yep. I miss movies where kids could swear. Speaking of the Goonies with Feldman.
Right. There's our other connection.
Yeah.
Nice face? I disagree.
I got the intention that like that race that they were watching was so long ago that Ben Burns had died. Because it was in black and white and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the timeline of technology in this movie is
Very fast.
Yes.
Very, very fast.
Are you cheating bastard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the WWE.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
But why male models?
Yeah.
More good cuts.
Yep. Sparky. All right, so we have moved on to the next beer that I brought back from Chicago. We have the Urban Artifact Keypunch Key Lime Gosé.
Through the magic
So
of
you guys
editing,
try
sort
this
of.
while I'll read you off some important beer facts. This can has some facts on it. This Gosé is brewed with 160 pounds of key lime, 11 pounds of sea salt, and 450 grams of coriander per 30 barrel batch. A barrel batch, one barrel being 2 kegs.
Yep.
So the punch card was a stepping stone into the era of digital computing, weaving patterns, piano rolls, and calculations to send teams into space. Program your day with the Keypunch.
I like to go back to the movie real quick. I like the cuts in that where they're sharp cuts with the camera slightly rotating, so it doesn't feel like it's just like headshot,
Sure,
headshot,
yeah.
headshot. There's more
It's
dynamism
more
in the
dynamic in the, like if you were someone actually watching the conversation happening between two people.
Yep.
I don't know where it happens in this movie, but because we always watch with captions, there's a caption that just says "speed crying," and just the image of that to me is hilarious.
Speed crying, just crying very fast.
Yes.
The national speed crying games of who can cry the fastest.
So this tastes like a margarita beer to me.
Margarita, really?
Yep.
It smells like a margarita, and I think it tastes like a margarita beer to me as well.
Yep. It tastes like a margarita with a Corona added to it.
Oh yeah, that'll mess you up.
This podcast is over. It's over. No, like to me, this tastes exactly like a piece of key lime pie.
I don't get that.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Max. I do not.
No.
Yeah. Oh well.
That was actually kind of
Yes,
funny.
with all the teeth missing.
Yeah, the headband on.
And
That's a
Rex-
great cut.
Yeah, it is.
And Rex is like, he knows he's in trouble.
He's in trouble. The knowing look that Rex gives is so great.
He's got the he knows it, but it was worth it look.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What do you guys get on the back end as far as like the aftertaste or the mouthfeel you get from this?
Corona.
Shut up.
I'm not kidding.
I can kind of get a little bit of that, like the pie, like
Yeah.
almost the crust, weirdly enough.
Like graham cracker crust?
Yeah. But had you not said it, I wouldn't have thought that. Corona. I'm the boss of my own brain. I'm going to go
I
for a
can't
walk.
control your taste buds. Oh well. But no, this is
I mean,
This
I'm not
is what-
saying I don't like it.
no. But I'm saying, do you like it or yes or no? Or-
I like margaritas.
all right, fair enough. I thought you were your initial statement. I thought you were putting this beer down. I'm like, you're full of crap.
No, I mean, I wouldn't drink a lot of these because I would
Oh.
just rather drink a margarita. If I'm gonna go for this taste, I'd rather drink a margarita.
Okay, I would drink these all day.
I really wanted the glass to shatter when he
Yeah.
closed the door.
It's a good Gosé. Very good Gosé.
Pops could take him.
Yeah.
As he demonstrates later.
Yes.
That actor, whoever's playing Inspector Detector, I think he looks great with this facial hair.
Yeah.
Because I saw some pictures kind of thumbing through IMDb where he doesn't have it, and he looks kind of doofy to me without the facial hair.
I want him to be Val Kilmer.
Ugh.
Hey, Speed, that Feldman guy is freaking me out.
Yeah.
Fixers. I can fix it. Follow-up question. Have you ever acted before?
More good cuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking colors, man.
Yeah, that's a great cut back when they
Yeah.
do that right there.
And they pull out, pull back. Frame left, featuring Racer X's Weena.
And his gun.
Yeah, it's odd that he carries a gun.
Yeah. Do you think they let him carry that while he's driving?
His car has guns on it.
So probably.
Yeah. Well, maybe he has his, like...
Benno Furman is the name of Inspector Detector. He's German.
Maybe he has his crime-busting car and his racing car.
Yeah.
What? The sandwich?
I wouldn't have pegged him as a German.
Nor would I.
No.
I thought I would lean more towards French.
Yeah. Benelux, maybe.
The argument that, like, rally racing is filled with all these jerks, you just fully and wholly admitted that normal racing is fixed.
Yeah.
Like, aren't you kind of... I know that he's denying it for a different reason,
Right.
is really what he's doing. But
Yeah.
It just- that-
I think it's more of like people are dirty in the Grand Prix, but they're not. They're except for the spear hook. Like they're not like equipped with like flails, as we'll see soon,
Yeah.
and bee catapults.
yeah. Those are huge raindrops. I don't know if they're supposed to...
They're noir raindrops.
if
They're the
this-
size of dimes.
Yeah, if the scale is off, like an Invader Zim problem, or if it's just...
The deepest of cuts here
Yeah.
on GBBV.
If they're going for that, but it's distracting to me how gigantic those raindrops are.
Mm-hmm.
Eyebrow. The Rock is jealous.
Yeah.
So the reason why we see these raindrops is because they're in the rain.
Go on.
With the bubble. Yeah.
Yep.
With the bubble over the Mach 5.
The Mac
So-
5.
No.
Three climate changes.
So there's the 5,000 kilometers of the most winding and treacherous whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the race, isn't like the last 500 kilometers just nothing? Like it's just him racing the last 500 kilometers by himself?
Or him and the team. Like, there's nothing between them and the last 500 kilometers.
Yeah. What an incredibly boring thing.
Yeah.
Also, that's kind of a funny joke.
That is a good joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shows in German, not the monkey parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're too pale.
This is their super secret computer laboratory, apparently.
Yeah.
That just monitors stocks all day.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
one of the stocks is Acme, by the way. Which made
Of course it is. For some reason, this reminds me of the war room from Doctor Strangelove. It's like, they're going to see the big board!
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Gorgeous.
In generic Mediterranean coast town.
Yeah, I took that as a North African town.
Yes.
The graphic designers said that they would take a lot of multicultural influences and just kind of mash them all up into one.
Yeah.
little
yeah,
file just
there's-
to be like whatever.
Yeah, there's
Makes
a lot of Greek and North Africa coast.
Yeah. This
Good
is the
item.
one exposition sequence that just kind of feels like exposition.
Yeah, but it's still it's still entertaining, and all of these car features were in the show.
Yeah.
The UCAP footage one, that's the one it's announced last time, like, oh, that will be used to finger someone in this. It never is used.
No.
Wait, what? The camera
yeah,
thing?
the camera thing.
That's the main reveal at the end of the
No.
race.
Those are the cameras that are on the track that are used. He flips the car so the cameras can see.
Oh yeah, you're
Yep.
right. You're right.
Yep.
Because like it's telegraphed as being like, oh, you can use this camera thing
To
to
record
catch
shit.
someone or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
Make it rain.
I have a second career to think about.
Again, a headshot where things are moving constantly.
Yeah, the
So-
backgrounds. Yeah.
And I'm assuming the actors themselves aren't actually moving. They're just moving the backgrounds
Correct,
around
yeah.
the actors.
I love this guy's name at the bottom here, or almost Velocity DeWitt. I don't know why that makes me laugh.
Chuckle Dio. Yeah. So I come in a very colorful Assassin's Creed.
Fire.
So now we see Speed in the classic Speed Racer outfit.
Yep.
This is 100% green screen except for her
gosh,
dress.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby, you know.
This feels like a James Bond sequence here, too.
Yeah.
This guy with the hair.
Yeah.
Snake
Yeah.
oiler, right?
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Man tantrum.
Yep. A
Yes.
mantrum.
Same.
No.
Those two guys are so gross.
Yeah,
Yep.
they are really just off-putting.
I hope one of them is named Bob and the other one is just named the Goon.
Ooh.
What was that facial expression? Just is he prairie dogging it? What's going on here?
Yeah. I think here, Ryan, with the lighting on people is where you get the Sin City feel.
Yeah.
Snake particularly.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's
Plus, the mob band look a little bit like Marv.
yeah. And I think the Sin City thing is probably more relevant in the scenes where they're very, very vibrantly colored, if more so kind of monochromatically. There aren't a lot of colors
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
relative to the other scenes, but the ones that are there are vibrant.
Yeah. Especially Sin City 2.
Yeah.
100%.
disappointment.
100% green screen movie.
Oof.
Nothing in that is practical.
I'll say the cuts, regardless of how bad the CGI looks at a point, when they cut into actual cockpit footage,
Mhm.
those transitions are always smooth.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Some gadgets popping out of the
Yeah.
other cars. You got slammed.
We're in full-on Mario Kart mode now.
Yeah.
Hup.
Whee!
I love
Bye.
I love the sound effect of
Yeah.
the jump jets going.
Yeah.
So, quick movie fact. This movie was shot in 65 days in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I
I'm
did
t-
not expect this movie to get shot that quickly, even with as much or
Right.
green screen as they used.
I'm just adopting the persona of pop-up video for this episode.
Yep. Did
Let's-
you know?
Let's pinch these turds off is a pretty gross statement, by the way.
His chin is too. He's got
Chin.
too much chin.
Wait, does her helicopter have a tongue on it? Like
I
a
think
giant
so.
kitty cat? I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
Just these ridiculous cuts.
Yeah,
cutting to
just
the
like
background.
everyone is corrupt.
Yep.
That's twisting of the world's largest mustache.
Yep.
Right
Yes.
there. Dick Dastardly. Wacky races, man.
I love that show.
I'd watch that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made a comic of that recently.
I believe they did.
I think it was IDW.
All of this
Man.
buying off is great.
Yep. I like how they're all paid with
Excuse me.
different denominations.
Yep.
Hauling ass to the desert here. I love the Viking cards.
Oh god,
Yeah.
Croc Light, Grog Light. Just eating random meat.
I'm just getting hungry for meat.
I know.
Yeah.
And just
Pelts.
a pile of furs.
Yeah.
The soothing sounds of me hacking up my lungs.
Yeah.
Even the sand here is like Cheeto colored.
It's just
It's like
The
Fury
Cheeto
Road
Desert.
sand.
the world's most delicious desert.
Yeah.
A button.
Quack, 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 quack.
The rubber falling off is a cool.
Yeah, it's a
effect.
nice little.
I really
They didn't
enjoyed
need to do that, but it's nice that they did.
that. Yeah.
They could have been like, "Oh, you got a new wheel."
Yep.
Impractical helicopter flying outfit.
Yeah. Her helicopter never looks great.
No.
That would be super annoying to have to manually do that.
Yeah.
Aim your fucking shield. Whee! Gotcha, bitch.
Draw somersault.
Parkour.
Yeah.
He said 22% convincingly.
This movie's become like 50% shift dramatically.
Yep.
He took out the Hubba Bubba team.
Fast and Furious is jealous as how much shifting there is in this movie.
I know, right?
Some of the CGI sequences in this just don't look finished compared to other ones. Is that fair?
Maybe, yeah, or they just didn't give enough attention to him.
Yeah, because some of them look great still.
Yeah. Oh my God! Could you be any less likable?
Yeah.
That's a nice little.
The stone hammer that he has.
Just that was a bunch to take someone's head off.
Yeah.
Like how the announcers are like, "Yep, we know everyone's just cheating the hell."
Yeah.
I do appreciate they didn't turn this into a stupid testicle joke like Transformers.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fucking-
Thorazine.
No.
Working together, like
That's
maybe
fucking
they're brothers.
teamwork.
Yeah.
A lot of for this venue, just these giant, wide, sprawling shots are kind of cool.
Yeah.
You can
salt-
see
yeah,
the dust
the
trails
flats.
and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Salt flats.
Then suddenly, bee catapults.
Yes.
Beans. Beads.
No,
Catapult.
Bees.
the beapult.
Oh God.
No, not the bees. Broomhilda.
Yeah.
Why is he yelling for Crom?
Why not?
Do you notice the car is shaped like an axe?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just
Just punches the guy.
Why would that matter?
He threw him off his rhythm.
Yeah.
they're off my groove. It's the same reason that shrugs fall out of the sky when you shoot them in Sharknado.
Yeah.
Right.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
I like that they have names for
Yeah,
car
they named
flu
for all
moves.
the
Yeah. These sequences are great.
Yep. See, this is a
So-
this is a use of like the cut to Sprockle. They only need to do it like once. They didn't need to have it like in between
Yeah.
scenes or whatever.
Pops remains suspicious.
Yes. So Spritle and Chim Chim are out sunning themselves on the lawn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously fake lawn.
Yeah. Their popcorn is still there.
Keep it together, Feldman.
Dun, dun, dun. His mustache is very
Before you get mad at
angry.
us,
Be more mad at him.
more mad at him. Exactly.
Speed skiing.
Well played, Spritle.
Also, I was surprised it wasn't the cut to like the Mach 5 being gone.
Yeah.
Oh no, because he took the car. Duh.
Yeah.
Finish line.
In not Spain.
Apparently, the finish is just a plaza that you all race into at the same time.
Yeah, that's safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't bite flowers.
Good-ish dragon design. We took out like 3 teams today.
Yeah.
Just like real snakes.
Ooh.
Ooh, got your fist.
Racer straight edge.
He's got to be hot in all that leather, man.
Yeah. Oh, he's hot, all right.
He's like any
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic guy wearing leather. Doesn't bother him.
Yeah.
I guess in the original series he was white with black X's on his uniform. But I can see why they switched the color scheme.
Right.
I don't remember that. When you say original series, is that the manga? Okay.
A TV show,
Or TV show, yeah.
right?
I don't remember that. I remember on the TV
On
show
X?
being black with white X's.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I don't know. We'll
I'll
fact
have to
check.
look- yeah, I'll have to
eventually.
look that up.
What was I?
The phrase of "they ain't checkered yet." I like that a lot. Actually,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
good.
That's
Yeah.
cool slang.
Yeah.
It's almost as elegant as cutting them turds off or whatever.
Yeah, pinching them turds off.
I like how it's Diet Coke they're drinking. I'm like, they're drinking wine? They're old enough to drink? But then you see the pop bottles upside down.
Yeah.
So at this point, the movie's like, it's your brother. Like, it's telephoned it so hard
Yeah.
that...
He probably used a paper plate for the face too.
Yeah. Oh my God! If you haven't seen Hunt for the Wilder People, see it immediately and see it 400 times. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Line.
Other line.
Yeah.
Eh?
No, nope, I don't.
Nope.
Sure don't. Slam.
Bye-bye. A good one.
Yeah.
It's got to be crushing to disappoint John Goodman
It
Just-
must be.
anytime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why Spritle?
Why Sparky?
I mean, at least he's like the mechanic. Spritle is like Spittle.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just play baseball and change the world.
There's no crying in baseball.
Nah.
Yes, Lord Goodman.
Say that to my mustache again. I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Just comes out his face and slaps him and goes back.
If you notice, Susan Sarandon is wearing
Pinstripes?
no, she's wearing the same colors as the gum that came in the tin of, was it with the zebra on it?
Oh, fruit stripe.
Fruit stripe. She's wearing her fruit stripe
Her
dress.
10 seconds of flavor.
Yeah.
Fun window into Ryan's past. A package of that gum is the only thing I've ever stolen from a store.
Really?
Yes. When I was little.
John Goodman was very disappointed in you in that sequence right there.
Oh, now I want to make time travel so I can go back and undo it and make John Goodman happy again.
Don't worry, he's free from Roseanne.
Yeah. Oof. I love all of his hyper exaggerated disappointment in this
Yes.
movie.
It's so anime though.
Yeah.
It speaks to how good of a Fred Flintstone he played too.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
he
was
could-
great.
He can
He's
choose
an
scenery.
A+ cast in this movie.
Yep.
Out of everyone cast in this. Susan Sarandon's okay. She gets the least love out of anyone in the family as far as like character goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, was there a mom in the
You're
cartoon?
asking the wrong person.
I don't remember a mom in the cartoon. I just remember Pops.
Yeah. Ninja.
This
All
is
Eey.
So this actor is Philip Tan, who's the ninja stunt coordinator for this movie, credited as main ninja. Fun fact about him: he was a European disco dancing champ for 2 years.
Really?
Yes.
yeah.
Screech.
Yeah.
So even the fact that he goes to like hide his face, it's like, oh, it's Rex.
Right. Smoke.
Yeah.
And I like that these are fun fight scenes
Yeah.
without
Yes.
while still being appropriate for a PG movie.
Yeah, they're brightly lit. They're not. They don't do too many cuts.
Mhm.
Even how silly the speed fight gets at times, it's still
Yeah.
Right.
I how competent Racer X is great. Too.
Yeah.
I really, really like it.
Mm-hmm.
He just has no problem with this guy at all.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He gold membered him.
I mean, he's punching him while he's punching his punches. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. He was fighting very defensively
Until he
until it's just like,
accordions the guy.
yeah,
The Fall of Feldman.
yeah.
Ah!
Eh?
Ninja.
Yeah.
I hope that the ninja
Ninja's
screams
awesome.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good sound effects.
yeah. Good sound design.
Trying to inject you with some talent.
I think it was olive oil.
You are useless, Sparky. At least you could have gotten injected with the stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Good fake out.
Yeah.
He switched stances
Why can Speed fight at all?
because we saw him fight that kid that one time.
Yeah, he fought
Definitely.
Loudmouth. They should just let the chimp fight.
Yeah,
The
no
chimp
kidding.
would
Yeah.
just ruin this guy.
I do like
Speed
these guys.
lines.
Just, yeah. The
The nothing.
back to the old sequence.
Yeah. Like, oh, just grab the leg.
Crack the leg, Johnny. Crunch.
Yeah.
Punches him out of his pants.
Posty. I like this though.
Yeah.
All right. He's
Yeah.
about to tell about. He's about to tell how wrestling has been in the Speed Racer family for generations.
That's
And
a
like,
great.
just, like flex and his shirt explode.
The cut is so good to the ring, though.
Yeah.
Right there where it cuts to the ring.
he
of
just
Greco-Roman
grabs the ninja and just fucking throws him.
Yeah. Oh. The music here is good.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
the timpani room. Yeah.
And here we have Pops spinning the ninja over his head.
Yeah,
His
like a
shuriken
pizza, like
just
pizza dough.
flying out.
Yeah.
His fucking car keys.
Yeah.
Drops him onto a tray table and
And
kicks him
kicks
out the window.
Yep. Whee!
Nigga,
Mar-
Nanja.
Which is actually a very interesting statement.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he saying that because he's being just a smartass, or is he saying it because he's a smartass and he's had
he-
past
he-
experience with fighting ninjas?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, world's strongest poison, then he dies.
Yeah. I'd know it anywhere. Out.
So
It just made him very sweaty.
Mm.
Do you think that when they were like, "Hey, man, you're gonna have a shirt off scene," he's like, "Yeah, I'm in pretty good shape," and then he showed up and saw Racer X and was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Why would you do this to me?
I guess I'm not."
Yeah.
You could have told me.
Yeah. I didn't know. Nice eyebrow there.
So, one of the characters they develop a lot more in this movie compared to the show is Trixie. Trixie's that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
But,
Suddenly snakes.
Suddenly Snakes
Yeah.
is a good idea for a band name.
Yep.
Yes.
I want to see if there was a tongue. Maybe it was just the wheel. I don't know. The helicopter.
But Trixie flew the helicopter, and
Yeah.
she'd tell him things to do, and was a spotter. But
Yeah,
she is very like
She's very capable in this movie.
she's capable and tricksy, I guess, to use
Yeah.
a Golem word.
Clever.
This is the crankiest old British guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kai.
Mm.
It's very silver interior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you're freaking adorable.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
He's a cheater.
Yeah.
Singing my K-pop.
That's where we saw Teju in his cross dressing
Yeah.
for a
His sister.
as his sister to snag the bad guy. As
Yep.
they, as he
Gotcha.
was
Gotcha moment.
He's got the gams to pull off that look.
yeah.
Right.
Trixie's got a little bit too much eyeliner on in
whoa.
this. That's just me.
I think it's just over the top, like it.
Yeah.
The whole thing, right? I think it's noticeable here because she's in white so
Yeah.
much,
Yeah. Again, and you don't have the black hair, so yeah, it definitely stands out.
and she's so in so many brighter colors and everything.
Yeah. I like the zoom in
Yeah.
to all the
Yes.
different cockpits for the conversations. Just
Yep.
zoop.
And here with these turns, like they're constantly moving the wheel, just like in
Right.
the show.
Yeah.
Wahoo!
We got those switchbacks.
This course, that section of the course is modeled after a real track, and I forget where the hell it was. I can't remember.
I'm sure I've seen something like that. They have them on like the Mazda commercials back in the day.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're in a lot of car commercials,
Or whatever.
and likely in a Gran Turismo video game.
Probably.
Yeah.
So that brings up an important question. Driving racing video games, do you want the cars to handle like very realistically, or do you want something that's like really over the top, like Mario Kart or Wipeout or
Yes.
F-Zero?
I think there's a place in my life for both kinds of those games.
Yeah, it's what you're looking for, right?
Sure.
I mean, you kind of answered your own question. It's you go to those games when you want to play that type of racer.
Okay.
Yeah. They're
What a horrible
Right.
thing!
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ryan, you and I and a good friend of ours, Dave played
Yep.
a ton of Gran Turismo.
Right.
But we also played a ton of Burnout,
Oh yeah.
where you just crash things
Yeah.
and have fun with it.
It was a blast.
And both of those have fond memories to me. So
Right.
that's why I say both.
Okay.
I don't need either one. I will pick whatever I want to do at the time.
Okay.
I feel like in that situation for choosing those kind of games, typically for the more over the top games like a Mario Kart kind of thing or a Crash Bandicoot Team Racing or that kind of deal, that's typically what you will go to in a group setting. Like
Sure,
if you have people
yeah.
sitting down on the couch, you're
We've
probably going to
done
play
that
that.
at my house.
Yeah.
Right.
Your house, James. Yep.
But if you're kind of like, well, I'm going to spend a couple days doing my own thing, I'm going to race Gran Turismo or like a Forza or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess I've never really been into those like serious racers. We'll call them.
And Dave got me the bug for a while. I was just so interested in just like fucking with gear ratios and all this crazy nonsense on my
Yeah.
car.
The
It was-
I would say the closest I've gotten to that was playing like Cruis'n Exotica or Cruis'n World, which is still like they're
Pretty
real
arcadey.
cars, but they're very
Yeah.
like arcadey and there's goofy. Like you can drive a forklift in one of the games or whatever.
Yeah, everything here is green screen. That entire thing.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah.
The one announcer just continues to make excuses for how,
like,
how
oh yeah, people just they die up there.
yeah, it's super icy in these roads. I mean,
Yeah.
of course anything can happen.
Yeah.
Like
He's on the payroll, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy's chops should be their own team of racers.
It looks like Birdie from Street Fighter 5.
What? I guess if he was twice as tall.
Yeah, well, his chops,
Birdie
not his
chops.
height.
Monkey cookie.
Oh.
That's poop, folks.
Yep.
Yes.
I was like, is that poop? Question mark. Yes.
That is not a monkey.
I actually really like the look of this fight.
Yeah.
With the speed lines and everything. Yeah.
It's the snow that kind of does it for me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the snow moves with them.
Yeah.
with the kicks.
Right. And a lot of the quick camera transitions and everything, it just looks really cool.
I like how Sprocket has the power of gawking.
Sparky is useless.
Oh, Sparky. Yeah, not Sprocket. Sparky.
Even Emil Hirsch's fighting doesn't look like he's putting that much effort into it.
Right.
Yeah. Rain is a much better fighter.
Hmm.
And Sparky's is entertaining too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Foot trails.
the one Asian British gang member.
That's cool right there.
Yeah.
I like the delayed yell.
Yeah.
Spritle stand.
Spritle is more useful than Sprocket here. That
Yeah.
the wrapped up finger makes me laugh.
Yeah.
all
Knocks out
Sparky.
Double
Sparky.
gun and runs toward a guy.
He just Three Stooges him.
Yep.
Yes.
Just
And Chim
then
Chim
gets
for the
killed by a wrench wielding monkey.
KO.
He's
don't
got
do
a
that.
gun. Have you seen that one?
Tarantino'd.
No. Have you seen that one Hellboy strip where Ape Sapien's like, "Is that a monkey?" And it cuts to like, "He's got a gun." And it's a monkey shooting the gun.
Yeah.
Scurry. So clearly they had an astonishingly commanding lead before getting into this altercation.
Yeah. Well, they did knock one of those cars off of a ledge, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Those are balls.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So a very arctic portion of this track.
Yeah.
All these SKUs.
Some weird bird
Yeah, it's not an eagle.
that almost looks stop motion animated.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Meow.
that is like an entrance to a pulp adventure cave if I've ever seen one.
Oh yeah. Or Fireball Island.
Yeah,
These shots look really cool.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
it's such
They've
a
got
pretty sequence.
They've got
Excuse me.
Akira tail lights.
Yeah.
Just all the reflecting and
Mm-hmm.
bending through the ice as far as the
Yep.
light. Headlights and such.
Yeah, the light trails are just amazing. Effective use of light. If anything you take away from this podcast, any of these episodes, it's lighting is everything.
Yes, it's key
Yeah.
for your effects.
Yep. Absolutely. So I guess I don't understand the rules of this race.
There aren't any.
And I'm glad they don't explain it to us. I don't need them to explain to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does feel weird that he has literally one car left in his group of racers, and
Yeah.
so he would finish first, and then
His team would win.
and then two did not finishes when the other team would finish all three cars and at second, third, and fourth, and somehow that would not equal a win.
I think it's. I don't know. No, I think it's first over. I think it's
I don't,
position overall determines your ranking.
so
So if Snake Oiler were to get first and Team Togaco would get second, third, fourth, no one else would place.
yeah,
Speaks in French.
yes. I like that because that guy is not spoken in French through the whole
No, it's
whole
it's
sequence.
been in like vaguely European English.
So he gets super excited and then speaks in what
Yeah,
is
right.
presumably his native tongue.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. I have a cousin who speaks both Italian and English.
That's a great move.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's a cool sequence there.
That is one of those like you need to come to a stop and then turn and then drive, and you can like skip like an eighth of a course lap.
Yeah. But my cousin will when he gets very excited will start speaking in Italian because he learned that sort of first, but somewhat simultaneously.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
No. Save me, bubble.
Yeah.
That's a pretty shitty bubble if it's cracking from that little gun.
It's just
It's not
high
breaking,
density polycarbonate or PMMA.
Yeah, again, making excuses.
Yeah.
He pulled a gun out because of
Lost
altitude
his
sickness.
mind.
Yeah. I'm racist because of Ambien.
Yeah.
Sorry. Different podcast.
Yes. So is this a nod to Berlin here? Or to Germany here? Or are they supposed to be in France?
I think they're. Oh, it's multicultural because there was the gate, but I thought they were coming into.
That's the Brandenburg Gate.
Yeah,
Is that
Brandenburg,
supposed to be?
yeah. I don't know. Stocks, yeah.
Yeah. This is a cool. I like how this is all shot too.
Yeah.
And this is all green screen again, right, Ryan?
It's everything except that standee behind them. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lipstick on him is
Yep.
a nice touch.
Oh, I won't.
Yeah.
I got the sunglasses
Good
are
cut.
part of the cowl he's
Yeah.
wearing.
Yeah. Man.
Well, I figured for that 5,000 kilometer mile for that 5,000 kilometer race, that's 3,106 miles. So
That's
Well,
far.
They talk about a car being able to go 800 kilometers per hour
max speed.
max
yeah.
speed earlier in the
with
movie.
that heavy engine. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, say they're probably going about 1,000 miles a day. We'll say they're going 200 miles an hour. That's 5 hours of racing.
Yeah.
Because I was doing that math at like 10 o'clock a couple days ago, and I'm watching this.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Pineapps.
Blackmail.
So we've gone through Argoza, which I'll tell you was spectacular to drink on a 94-degree afternoon.
I believe it.
But
It was good. I can think of nothing but a margarita while drinking this, though. It's just again, like, it's not a bad thing. But
that could maybe be the difference between having it on draft and having it in a can. I don't know. But bye-bye.
And chimps.
Yes.
And I'm dressed like Fix-It Felix.
Yeah. I like this.
Tetsuo!
Just angry racing.
Angry, yeah.
'Cause
Drive
this is-
Angry.
This is what
Coming soon at theaters near you.
No.
what
No
someone
Nick
would
Cage.
do, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what he knows.
Yeah.
So it goes back to his whole. He talking to Trixie earlier, where he says, everything just feels right
Mm-hmm.
or makes sense. He says in this. So this is him trying to make sense of his life right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem a little like an overreaction
Yeah.
to someone else being on the same track at the same time?
Yeah, he's.
Yep.
I took it as him being mad that
He's driving angry.
his another teammate is there and he doesn't recognize him at that point. Like he sees X and he's like, okay, who is this? So he's
It's the same car that he's been driving the last 3 days, though.
Yeah, I think he just sees a car and thinks someone's coming after him. Like that's what he's been running from this whole time, right? Yeah.
So overall, I am ranking Matthew Fox, John Goodman, and the guy who plays Royalton as the best actors in this movie.
Roger Allam.
Robert Allen, yeah.
Whose name wasn't even on the poster, despite being the villain.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Christina Ricci in this too.
Yeah.
I think she does a really good job.
Yeah, I agree, but I think
don't
she's
think
outdone by the others.
Yeah, I don't think she's asked to carry as much weight as the other actors that you just listed,
Yeah.
though.
No, but there's a lot of characters in this movie for being a basic plot of race
Yeah.
fast.
Isn't Matthew Fox kind of coming off of Lost fame at this time? Isn't he from Lost?
Yes, he is from Lost.
I never watched the show, so.
So, okay. Here's where my problems with this movie start. This is a good fake out,
Yeah.
but I immediately do not care at all about this character now. Not knowing how this ends. But I'm like, okay. Like, it's like you wanted it to be your brother. This kind of goes back to like what we saw in Blade Runner 2049, where Ryan Gosling, he's like, I am the missing child. Harrison Ford is my father. Spoilers for that if you haven't seen that. And he's not. It's like you want it so bad to make your life make sense, settle the emptiness the emptiness inside you and such, and it's just like, nope, life's not like that. So that is what I immediately got from this little exchange here. So but then I thought about it, like this movie's 10 years before that, and I thought like this movie's trying to be too clever, but
It feels a bit too clever, but it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you.
yeah. Well, and this also coming right after I'm not giving you the data you wanted. We just did this so my company can make a cool 500 Wulongs or whatever. You know, like there was just like betrayal after like letdown. You know.
What do you think, Ryan?
I mean, I remember watching this the first time, and you know, like you were saying, Max, you want it so badly to be Rex.
Yeah.
Like to be that
It would've been a cool,
closure.
like, you just had that major letdown of like we did this race for nothing, but now I've got my brother back, and now it's like, nope, I'm not your brother,
Right.
and that race was for nothing.
When I watched this movie the first time, and when that reveal happens that it's at this point not Rex, I remember being like, oh, that sucks so much. But for me, I actually became really interested. I'm like, okay, well, if it's not Rex, then what's this guy's deal? Like, I became actually kind of more interested in Racer X. Like, why are you so involved? What's more of his story? I don't know. I kind of took it as positive.
I hit with Ryan a little more too. I was like, okay, who is this guy then? Like, where did he come from? What's his past?
And spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, I also think that it makes the double reveal at the toward the end of the film more impactful for me, because this means that Rex has been so close to his family now, just for a long time, interacting with his brother, with his mom, with his dad, as himself, and he can't tell them. Like that speaks to Rex just sticking to never ever breaking his new characters for their safety. Like, it makes that
kind of brings back the earlier in the movie when he's like, who is he? And he's like, oh, you cannot know, it'd be dangerous to your family or whatever.
Right.
Like, if he'd gotten like facial reconstruction surgery to the point where you can't recognize him, that little statement just falls empty, but at the same time it's like, oh, we need to maintain the mystique of the masked racer.
Does he say your family? I think it says he can't reveal his identity because it'd be dangerous to him and his family.
Oh.
I think it's directed at the racers,
Because if it's like you know who he really is, they're going to come after you and try to find out who he is.
The threat holds though in either case, right? Like, if you know the guy's face, you know the guy's face. You don't have to be related to him for that to be a problem for him.
It just kind of goes back to the one episode of Justice League when Lex Luthor gets his mind into the Flash's body. And he's like, now I'll find out who the Flash is, and he takes the mask off and he's like, I don't know who this is.
We're missing this. We talked through this sequence, but this is a playback to the Rex leaving scene, and it plays out completely differently.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that whole juxtaposition between the two. Also, that it's shown that his character's grown quite a lot. That Pops has grown. Also,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Something I was kind of fuzzy on. Watching this first time through is why exactly Rex left.
He left because he was being he
I-
succumbed to the threat that Speed refused to succumb to.
I mean, like thinking about it, I'm like, did he leave to get in with the mob and then be an asset to the Inspector Detector, and he built up the reputation of being like the dirty racer, so they brought him in and then turns on him after he fakes his death.
I don't
Spoiler.
know if it went that deep. I thought it was just him basically. He falls in with them, reaches a boiling point, and says, "I want to get out of this, and the only way to get out of it is to fake his death."
So we've got Taijo's sister showing up to the racer residence here.
This move by Taijo's sister, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. She's had maybe like 3 lines up to this point, and other than like a look of disappointment when her brother and father like betray the racers, like the motivation's kind of
Isn't she the one who kind of runs this a little bit earlier, though, even above her brother? She's the one convincing him to do it.
No, it was
She's-
Inspector Detector to being like, "Hey, you join this team, we can get if he wins
Yeah, she's
and gets
convincing
into it."
her own brother, though. She's asked.
Oh.
She's like, "Is it worth it if you die? Even if you die?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's pushing it on her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the enthusiasm.
Like, I would have liked to see her have 1 or 2 more scenes to develop her character a little more. Like, I feel like the women are a little underdeveloped. Aside from Trixie.
It's actually kind of funny.
That's funny. Yeah, everyone else is in the kitchen too.
Fruit stripe shirt.
So
Me, mom's huge boobs.
it's great too, because even though everybody but Spritle and Chim Chim walk out normally, they continue through the whole movie
Just
to
popping.
pop up from behind things.
Or out of things.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I like that that's a thing that's stuck in Spritle's mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speed had a perfectly good car until he went and trashed it on the racetrack with Racer
Yeah,
X
'cause he had
for
a
whatever
tantrum.
reason. Because he was grumpy.
Yeah.
Grumpy Speed. That tie, though.
Too much fuchsia. The fuchsia doesn't fit the scene.
What shape are those?
I think it was the Royalton logo, the
Was it?
R's.
Okay.
But the bubble letters are very puffy.
Close, flip, open. All things must be soldered.
Yep.
Solder all the things.
Montage.
Yeah, a car assembly
Welding
montage.
montage.
But still with cool cuts, though.
Ryan and I are discussing
Yeah,
whether
we're-
or not to open up another beer.
We're trying to charade each other into figuring out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
That answer is yes.
All right, Ryan, you tell us what this one is.
All right. Well, while this montage is finishing up, this is the only beer I brought back from out west. This is from Historic Brewing. This is a limited release. This is their Vintage 16, and they unfortunately printed white text on a highlighter yellow label, so it's almost impossible to read. This is a kettle soured Chardonnay Saison hybrid. So this has the potential to be very interesting, very unique. I've been handed the opening
official
device,
GBBV beer opening bottle opener,
which is a
which
wooden
we
penis.
can't show
Yeah.
because it's explicit.
All right, well, I'm just going to crack this open here.
Whispering, it's a penis.
I want the idea that these two guys are commentating the party.
Yes.
They're just like at the corner of the party talking
Yeah,
about
just
who's
talking-
coming
yeah.
and who's not.
Well, it's like in what do you call it? Batman Forever, when Gossip Gertie is just like interviewing him on the spot, interviewing Jim Carrey on the spot, like very loudly.
Yeah.
Like, we're here at the Enigma Tech ball. Oh, and there's Bruce Wayne.
Oh, Brucey.
A little bit of the
A
Speed
little bit
Racer.
of the PB&J.
I think those are toasted PB&Js, actually.
Ooh.
Interesting. I'll have to try that.
Oh, shit, yeah. I didn't notice that before the tarp in the background flies
Yeah,
up.
Flies up, yeah.
He's fucking Mario?
Is Mario impersonation? Does that make Sparky Luigi?
Down near the ocean.
The epaulets on all these officials are interesting. The security guys.
Yeah.
I am head security man.
Very sparkly earrings there.
Yeah. The whole sequence that the party is in black and white
Yeah.
is a great pullback from how bright everything else has been, while still being very bright at the same time. It's just not as saturated.
Mm-hmm.
That guy talks really cool.
Yep. Implaceable accent.
Blah.
No, I'm lawful neutral.
Yeah.
Let me talk over it.
Yeah.
See, if this, I feel like if this movie were made just a few years later, they would have had Johnny McEnroe be an announcer just for a quick joke.
That would be awesome. I'd be all about her eyes looking around.
And
her,
like,
right?
I did nothing.
I did. Ooh.
What past that guy, June Park, I think is his name, shaving right there, played Yamcha in our very, very terrible Dragon Ball Evolution movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Um,
This is how you do an adaptation right, I would say.
yeah.
I'm not as
so
familiar
much better
with the
With
source,
source
material,
material, yeah.
but nothing about this is cringeworthy. You don't need to have watched the original source material to get what's going on.
Right.
No.
No, never ever watch the Dragon Ball Evolution movie.
No.
Good lord.
Unanimously voted worst episode of between episodes 25 and 50.
For good reason.
By worst episode, we mean worst movie, not just worst episode by us.
Yeah. All of our episodes
What
are the
is
worst.
Pose,
What are you
Yamcha,
doing?
pose. He's Spider-Man posing.
Yeah. That's the
All right,
classic Sparky
so-
look.
This exchange lacks the background on Sparky.
Right? This is
Because they
kind
have
of
like
the
this
most...
big like heart-to-heart like best
Yeah.
friend thing, and part of me was like, is Sparky his older brother they never mentioned before? Or like I had to look up who he was. Because he's gotten no lines. Like he has more lines in this one scene than he has the entire movie.
Yeah, otherwise he's just reading newspapers for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, he works on the car and he's ineffectual at fighting.
Just
He's
being a punching bag.
yeah, comic relief. But here we see like all the logos.
That was an actual real one with Yokohama.
Yokohama, yeah.
Which I think actually has shown up on the tires a couple times, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
I believe Yokohama may have had an actual sponsorship with this movie. This came out when we were working in the theater, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I would be very curious to know how well this movie did in Japan specifically. I wonder what those numbers are.
Nice panning of the big players there.
Yep. Good cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Forecast calls for a grumpy rain. I don't like this beer.
No.
Mm-mm.
What don't you like about this beer, Ryan?
The way it tastes. I mean,
And we've broken James.
I don't like any of the flavors in here. These aren't mixing well for me.
So this beer is very much a kettle sour up front with a saison finish. So do you not like the front or the back?
I don't like either. I don't like anything about this, actually.
I will admit it has a very strange aftertaste.
I know. It might be kind of my fault here because I didn't rinse my glass. Right, we're coming off the Gosé.
We didn't have a full glass of Gosé either,
Yeah.
and we didn't.
I feel like the salt in the Gosé could maybe
There's
fudge
no
this up.
Yeah, but that wasn't a particularly salty Gosé, and going from the Gosé to the kettle sour isn't that big of a transition. That those should be. It's not like you went from a stout to this or other way around.
This is real funky though.
It is.
Not in a good way.
It's got a kind of a dry finish to it.
Yeah.
It is very dry.
Yeah.
Like I can see the
That's a cool shot.
Yes,
I can see the Chardonnay.
Yeah. I really like that the announcer I can't think of his name now. Cheers for him basically this whole race too.
Right.
Yeah.
Here we go with one of the more absurd.
Yeah.
It's a Mario Kart. It's a Mario Kart track.
There are some really spectacular just car destructions in this last race.
Oh yeah.
Like
this
that one.
Bang!
Dang.
That's
Yep.
awesome. Appropriately bite-sized slow-mo.
Yep. This is like that one track in Mario Kart where it's like an actual arena that's just insane.
Yeah.
Man, those Royalton cars are fucking gaudy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are.
Just driving up a big, like, corkscrew thingy.
So they presumably go around this track twice? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yep.
Because we see this twice.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
This is a cool sequence.
I was gonna say I it's simple, but I really like the whole
the
process here.
the concept is sequel. The execution is very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, this movie came out the same weekend Iron Man did,
Huh.
so it opened third.
I feel like this would be a hell of a movie to see in 3D.
This was one of the first, like, hey, this movie's in 3D. Like, when the 3D movies had a resurgence back in the late aughts.
Yeah.
It was shot with brand new Sony cameras that were still actually prototypes at the time of filming.
Yeah, because this is a few years before the whole, like, red cameras came out, right?
Well, that was several years. The red cameras were developed for The Hobbit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you said a swear word.
Yeah, I think it's one of the first times you hear him swear.
Yeah, because they bleep out one earlier.
Well,
'Cause he's
yeah, when
on
the
he's on
when it's the
announcing.
TV announcer, they bleep it out.
Yeah.
But
See, Speed, come on, that move is weak. I actually like that line, and I feel like for as just stoned as, just stone-like as he is for much of this movie, he could have benefited from some more of those subtle...
banter.
Yeah. He doesn't need to be real like, haha, I'm fucking great and you're terrible, but just things
he's
like
just
that.
been like stone-faced and grimacing like throughout most of the movie.
Just some quips about like hey, if you would have done this, you would have raced better. Or I don't know.
More little quips during the
right.
He's not confident enough in the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
I think he was in the second race. He's like, "Oh, if you would have raced better, we'd have won." It's like, I was saving your ass.
Yes, that's good.
But yeah, he loses it after the car gets destroyed. Yeah.
This is great because this again harkens back to the race from before.
Yep.
Where they spear him.
Yep.
Here's the camera you're talking about, Max.
Yep. The soundtrack in this is very much it's like The Incredibles. The big blaring horns.
Floop.
Yep. Dun dun dun. So, fun little fact about the announcers for this, because like there's all the announcers here. The Japanese ones are the from the TV show.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and for
That's
the
cool.
Japanese dub of this, they got the original voice actors to
Oh,
do their
really?
parts. Yeah.
That's cool.
Shame.
Shame.
Everyone looking at him in disgust and like,
Yeah.
like moving away from him at the party is a nice touch.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Everybody but Speed knows what's up.
Yeah.
Car talk, car talk, car talk.
Yeah.
So this is the callback that it actually is his brother,
Yep.
but I would have thought I would have liked it if after he said, like, I'm not your brother, he drives away, like he's driving away, like you see the flashback of what actually happened. That I thought would have been a more powerful moment.
If they would have combined those sequences.
Yeah, rather than having it happen at the very, very end here.
So many pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess that's supposed to be more close to like rally cars because you have a lot more braking options, like just the front wheels, just the back wheels kind of thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
all these cars are like 4-wheel drive.
They're like independent wheel drive.
Yeah. With car flipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is obvious if you're watching along. The designers for this movie they were like, well, basically the idea is fuck physics for this entire movie.
Which I'm glad they went with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, absolutely.
Interesting use of light on the windshield there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a pretty movie.
Mm-hmm.
Keep saying it.
Hmm.
Woo, swirls.
Yeah, that's a little neat thing there.
Yep.
That's genuine joy in Matthew Fox's face when he says,
Yeah.
Yep. I another good shot there of him going backwards and flipping over people to get around a pack.
Yeah.
It's that great big drop again.
Yes. And this where he
He's just basically a
plummets
rocket
down.
over
Yeah.
top of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's cool because it's not about the race; it's about being there with his dad,
Yeah.
with Pops.
Yep.
Yeah. So thinking about as we're getting to the end of this movie, there's actually a little bit too much going on in this movie plot-wise. The basic plot is simple. Speed Racer wants to win race. Then there's the whole... And it would have made sense if when he goes and turns down the offer of, like, here's the repercussions. And seeing him come back from that would have been nice. Him winning the rally race being like, I need to do this race that my brother died on, and if I win it, I can race in the big race. But with the whole the fake out of the guy winning the race to raise his family's stock so then they can sell off the company, and it's just like, well, that didn't really need to happen except for business sense. It was. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done the second race.
Business things.
Yeah. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done the second race. It was just like, it was a little bit, it feels a little bloated. Like they're trying to juggle too many things.
I took it as they're essentially trying to fit an adult and a child's movie together.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't mind it as much knowing that because they have to have the simpler plot so kids will enjoy it.
Yep.
But,
Ludicrous speed.
It's not gonna. This whole sequence is.
This is
weird.
great. I'm sorry I've
Yeah.
been talking through one of the most visually interesting parts of the movie, but
So, I don't know. I enjoy this. I certainly enjoyed this movie a lot more than I expected to.
yeah.
Yeah, this, and again, similarly to the Flintstones, I liked this movie more the second time.
Mm-hmm.
As you may have guessed by our ramblings, if you're not watching along, the movie is winding down.
Yeah.
So Speed has finished the race.
Did you guys wonder if he actually finished the race there?
Or if he
When he-
died,
or if you
something.
stop short.
or if you stop short. Yeah.
I was unsure.
Okay, that was my when I first saw
I never got that. You wouldn't have had that ridiculous of a visual sequence to have him not win. That would have been like the
disagree.
most downer thing.
Yeah,
I think they could have swung that.
yeah,
They could have had him stop and
because he's on the checkered board. He's not past the checkered board, which was my assumption is what he had
Oh.
to do.
whoa.
He's like, That means a lot more to him than it does to the audience.
Yeah.
They don't know it's all fixed. And it's not now.
The planet feels a lot like Sakar.
It's my birthday!
It's my.
The crowd's going wild. Chim Chim's loving it.
Yeah.
Good monkey actor. PETA did not like this movie. Actors.
Inspector Detector.
Here we go.
This is the fun title to say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Inspector Detector. Yeah.
He's just a cool looking guy, actually, too.
Inspector Detector?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love
He
the
had-
design. He looks
Yeah.
great.
The cut of his hat and his facial hair looks like a Japanese like detective,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yep.
and like his the way his cheekbones are, like you could like I had to really look closely at him, being like, what nationality is that guy? So
Kablooey.
yeah, this is the sequence that I thought they should have had earlier, because it would have been great to like the movie to end with that big like cheering for it, like the big celebration of his brother winning, and then him like looking down and smiling or something.
I like it ends with him kissing Trixie, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, then it cuts to the kiss or whatever. But like this sequence could have been half an hour ago.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not done effectively here, but I would have preferred it earlier. That's just a personal.
Show.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I like the emotional impact of him seeing something that's incredibly happy with his brother, and then us and him going through
it together,
losing everything when Speed just got everything.
Yeah.
Right. I that's a bit of that of a different.
That's a month old.
Yeah.
Oh
Have you ever actually done that? Just taking a huge swig of rancid milk?
no.
Oh, boy. What an alarming situation.
That happened to me once with a chocolate milk that was supposed to still be good, but I opened it. It wasn't even opened yet. I opened it, poured myself a glass of milk, and it was hot when I put
Oh.
No, that'll make you just retch.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Sparky, you're important now.
Yep.
Yeah. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
John Goodman just towers over everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mountain of a man.
And here we go. That apparently the guy, the rent is too damn high guy is in the background.
Yeah.
This is great,
This is great.
The hearts getting changed.
Yeah.
In the background.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a lot of Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, there's the amount of color in this movie is equivalent to
Well, there's a sequence in Scott Pilgrim when he's talking to Ramona,
where
where the light the street lights in the background turn to hearts.
yeah.
That's one of my absolute favorite fucking movies. Scott Pilgrim, that is.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
The hat.
Prison shot there.
Yeah.
I was happy that they put this in a little bit, too.
Yeah. The original theme and like bits from the series.
Yeah.
So the original name in Japan was actually Mach Go Go Go.
Okay.
And then we have like the. This
Jim
is
Sims
the
is
last
rocking
time
it.
I can remember hearing like a pop song written for the movie.
Yeah.
So how does this end theme rank amongst custom original scores for our movies?
Well, it's no deepest bluest.
Yeah.
Nothing is.
No, nothing shall beat that.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, that is Speed Racer. Before we go, let's go with View Again, Brew Again. Ryan, let's start off with you on this.
I'm gonna start with some Brew Agains.
Yep, 3 brews: Stryker, Keypunch, and whatever the hell this last beer is called.
Right. I'm gonna start with Stryker. I did like that as an IPA. That's something I would drink again if it was around. But aside from that, I'm just gonna kind of walk away from it. I'm not gonna look for that one. Good, drinkable. Surprisingly drinkable for being 9%. Then again, for a non-IPA guy, it was not nowhere near as bitter as I was expecting when you were saying it had as many IBUs as it claims to have.
Yeah.
The Gosé, it feels like this is a great summer drink, but it's to me this is just drinking a margarita out of a can. Not necessarily that that's a bad thing, but
people like margaritas. I had a great one last week.
I like margaritas. And this third thing from Historic, I'm gonna grab the bottle one moment. Oh God. Reach. I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this at all. The flight I had at their brewery in Arizona, I liked a lot of those. I'm kind of disappointed. This was just kind of, I chanced it.
Yeah, I'll
take this home with me.
You take a gambit with some of those.
Right. I don't like this, but they do make some really good stuff. If anyone's ever in Arizona, and I forget what city. I want to say.
Weren't you in Scottsdale?
Flagstaff? I'm sorry?
Weren't you in Scottsdale? No, never mind. Stop listening to me. Continue.
Stop listening forever. I just don't care for this one at all. I don't like it. View Again. Absolutely. I actually really like this movie. There's so much going on. There's so much to look at, and seeing it now and really understanding the intent of a lot of the visuals in here, I'm distracted by it a lot less. And the first time I watched this movie, I found myself being kind of annoyed with the visuals a lot of the times. And I feel that's probably why this was kind of a divisive movie, maybe in that respect, is that if you can't get away from just how kind of weird the visuals can be sometimes, this movie's just gonna lose you, and you're not gonna want to sit here for 2 hours and be subjected to that. Just ad nauseum. But no, I very much like this movie. I own this Blu-ray, and if I ever get a 4K player, which I will, this is going to be a movie that I will buy in like 4K HDR if it ever comes out, just because holy shit, the colors.
Yeah. I'll go next. I'll start off with the beer as well. Stryker is a very solid, drinkable imperial quotes I put there IPA. That's like the best praise I can give to it. Rhinegeist was one of the favorite breweries I went to when I was down in Ohio, and they did some really interesting stuff. They had a Berliner Weiss on nitro, which was very good, called Press Tart. Up next, Keypunch. I get a slice of key lime pie from this. For me, this is a quintessential Gosé. I'm glad I had more of this back in my fridge at home.
Well, from the sound of things, James and I aren't going to come and try to take any of it.
No. Nope. I will cut you and then rub a lime in the wound.
Appropriate.
Yep. And Da Vinci 16, it's an interesting beer. There's a lot going on as far as you go from the tart to the funk to that weird Chardonnay aftertaste. But I don't. It's not my favorite thing though. It's definitely something interesting just to see how you can blend all those very different flavors into one beer. And thank you for bringing it back and sharing it with us, Ryan.
Yep, sure thing.
As far as this movie goes, I think this movie improves with the number of times you watch it. Which outside of this podcast, there aren't many movies that I watch multiple times unless I adore them. I love just the like we've been saying, the vibrant colors. I think the plot's got a little bit too much going on for what's going on overall, and in this movie, or it tries to, like James, you were saying, make an adult movie for make adult something for adults that kids will also enjoy. Yeah, if it was like 20, 30 minutes shorter, I think it'd be a little great, or a little better. I don't know if I would watch this above Redline, because that movie's
ridiculous.
2 hours long, but it's just like, okay, race. It has the mob tie-in, it has the fixer shady past kind of thing. Doesn't have as much melodrama, I would say, but this movie's fine. But yeah, I would watch this again if someone had like never seen it and been like, hey, what's this thing about Speed Racer with the renewed popularity? Being like, okay, we're gonna watch some colors happen here.
Let's sit there.
Yeah.
Get ready for new colors.
Yep. Well, that's what someone told me when I first watched Redline. They're like, you're gonna see colors you didn't know existed. So, all right, James.
No, podcast is over.
Yeah, that's fair. I will do Brew again. First, the Stryker is good if unremarkable.
Remarkable.
I think that if we lived in Cincinnati, we'd probably drink a lot of Stryker. Since we don't live in Cincinnati, we're probably not going to seek out Stryker.
Yeah.
The Gosé really just does taste like a beer margarita to me. The
Vintage 16, I believe this is called.
Vintage 16. So I actually like the way this tastes. What I don't like is it sits really heavy.
You're right, it does. I finished off my glass a minute or two ago, and I can still feel that Chardonnay
that like weight
in my
your
gut.
stomach.
Yeah, in my gut. Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe I'll have some more of this, and it hasn't gone away yet, and I'm not going to have more of it because it's sitting so heavy.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I do enjoy about a lot of sours in saisons is that they typically don't sit so heavy.
Yeah, they're on the lighter side.
Yeah.
You can just throw them back.
And for some reason, these guys put the two of them together, and it's sitting like a really heavy IPA, or it's sitting like a
almost like a
beer.
stout. Yeah,
So,
just like now that like we were talking about it, like I thought maybe it was like just the shitty food I've been eating lately, but but no, yeah, like I definitely can feel it in my gut, like churning around there. Not in like a bad, unpleasant way, but like it's
aware
there.
of it,
I'm
yeah.
aware of it.
As I paradoxically say that I don't like it, and then also pour myself another glass and drink it all.
So I had never actually watched Speed Racer all the way through. I think Ryan, you and I may have had similar experiences to them in that we caught bits and pieces of the movie while it was in the theater because we were working at the time, and whether you had to run into the theater when it was cleaning at the end and you hit the awful pop song monkey sequence.
I did watch the whole thing in the theater.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So I had never seen it, and when I watched it for the first time, I truly didn't understand the hate for the movie.
I mean, I can understand, maybe why people are like, it's not a great movie, but this movie was eviscerated when it came out.
Oh,
largely.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Geely level eviscerated.
Oh my God.
I remember people talking about how just a waste of time it was, how it was too much visually. It just
that was one of the things. They overloaded it with visuals. Well, remember, this is 2008, where CGI was used differently then as it is now. Because like by today's standards, there's nothing that outlandish about it other than the color selection is way beyond what's being used. But
yeah, I don't remember hearing a single good thing about the movie though, and I would challenge anybody to sit down and watch this movie and not be able to walk away and say at least something about this movie was visually interesting or beautiful.
Yeah, I told some coworkers today that I was recording this tonight with you guys, and the ones that had seen it were like, I guess it was just the one guy. He was like, "Oh yeah, that movie, that's fucking terrible." Like he hated it. I was like, I don't know that you'd have that response if you watched it again.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If you haven't watched it since it first came out, watch it again.
It's worth it. It's really worth it.
It is. I I don't have any significant problems with this movie outside of. Yeah, I wouldn't say outside of. I don't have any significant problems with this movie. There's a few sequences that just don't look great anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a lot of duplication. It's the sequences where they duplicate a lot of people and put them on the screen all at the same time. But I mean, it could tighten up a little bit. But I'm
go
okay
ahead.
with
Sorry.
it. I'm fine. I like this movie. I'll watch. I'll probably go out and buy this movie. Actually.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking, because we mentioned it a little bit ago. Why is this actually a bad movie?
Okay,
kind of
so I was
name.
reading through some of like the critical reception at the time when it came out. A lot of it's like there's way too much CGI, like CGI overload. Which, think back to 2008.
Sure.
You didn't have the resurgence of disaster porn from like San Andreas or 2012 or whatever, when it was just like, look at all the shit we can do. Only the first Transformers movie had come out, which is still relatively restrained on what they were blowing up.
They were praised for the way that the Transformers moved in that movie. That they weren't just piles of metal like bouncing around off of each other.
Yeah,
right. And in that context too, I mean, there's a lot of movie there where the CGI is the Transformers themselves. It's not the entire world around the characters that's been created. Yeah. It's just the Transformers.
Great point.
So going back to some of the critiques of it, a lot of people thought the storyline was very I'm losing words. Uncomprehensive or overly complicated. Of like, you have all these like different moving parts and different things going on that it's just like it's a movie about people racing.
But it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
it's not the movie they want it to be. That would be my response to that.
Yeah, I think so. I think because this was billed like as a children's kind of thing. Some very strange comparisons between this and The Matrix. About both of these movies are about people being controlled. And like the protagonist trying to break free of the control, so they call this like pop fascism, or like a children's equivalent, a children's version of like the Matrix message of breaking free of the forces that run everything in control.
It sounds like a bunch of beardy critics trying to just be like, hey,
well,
look
this
at
is
me.
like critical reception or whatever.
Yeah, because
same comment.
Yeah, comment, because I don't agree with that at all, because The Matrix is a movie about Jesus. You could be mad about that, but that's true. Like, there's at no point are they like, Speed Racer is Jesus.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Some people are like, this movie's super cheesy, but that's the point.
Right.
And some people are like, this is a cult movie in the making. Like, so back then, some people did know. Like, I can see this now. Like, this will be looked on as as a classic movie. The Thing was nominated for Razzies when it came out. People hated that movie.
It's fucking
now it's
genius.
regarded as like the best or one of the best horror movies ever made.
So
I think this is one of those. Blade Runner was a flop when it came out.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah.
I and I'm gonna follow this up with a question. For me, so why is
narrative
this...
incoherence? Sorry, that's what I was going for earlier.
Right. You got there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, sorry, digesting beer. So for me, I guess my biggest problem really with this movie is it's called Speed Racer, and Speed Racer himself is a complete letdown from start to finish. I'm never on board with the titular character for most of this movie. Like, I don't care. Everyone else around him is so much more interesting, so much more developed than him, I think. I don't know.
That's kind of like that's the Deckard problem in Blade Runner. Everyone besides Deckard is more interesting than Deckard.
And maybe it's in some ways like this movie is a secret origin story movie in some ways.
There was plans for a sequel. Wachowskis were like, we have a story we want to tell. We know how we're going to follow this up, but it was a flop, and I think it just came out at the wrong time.
And to speak to that, Ryan, like, Speed Racer is most interesting in the last 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, he's thrown the jabs, or he's thrown the quips during the race.
Yeah.
We see him confident. That's the Speed Racer we've been...
That's the speed we know.
The speed we know.
So up until that point, he's discovering who he is. I mean, even Racer X even comes out and says that, right? He's like, once you determine why you want to drive, then you will be a good racer, and I want to see why that happens. But he does a lot better because Matthew Fox knows what he's doing. So that's the only thing I'd say to that, but that doesn't excuse it. I think
it's
go
the
ahead,
origin
finish.
story. That's every origin story.
But the front part of it, he doesn't play off of the I'm not confident yet. Being wooden isn't being not confident. Being wooden is being wooden. If he's I'm unsure of myself, I'm not sure. I need to learn these things. Pops, I'm coming to you. Trixie, I'm coming to you. I need help. I need this. Instead, he's just I'm in the background. He's
the
buster. He's bustering this whole thing.
You always know a Milford man.
Yeah.
And to kind of build off that, you can successfully show the growth or arc of a character while still having that trajectory be engaging from start to finish. And in this movie, it is not, and it's not for the main character, and that's a huge problem.
He just has a memory montage halfway through the race at the end of the movie and becomes Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's maybe that was going a little bit too far with the flashback editing.
They put a lot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just I've already seen so much of this. Just give me race. I wanted the final race to be longer.
And that was the question I was going to follow up with, Max. One of your grievances with this movie is that it's too long. So just kind of as a general question, I was wondering, what would you guys trim out of this film if you would trim anything? Max, clearly you would trim some stuff, so what would that be for you?
The ninjas come after the first night, not the second. In the rally, the rally's only 2 days. Rallies, you can condense that race down into. So, wait, the rally was rally was in 3 steps. Yeah. So that is that's. I mean, it's an interesting race, but it's knowing that it's not going to be the final one.
There's no second night in the rally. They call it a 3-day race, but there's only one night.
Maybe you're right.
Because they pull into the hotel.
You're right. That's rather than just okay. So it still feels like there's 3 distinct scenes. There's the desert, the mountain,
and then
the mountain again.
It's the mountains and the cave.
Mountains and the cave. So some of that could have the whole stop to have the fight in the middle of all that feels. I mean, they do the whole bait and switch thing, but I don't know. That entire sequence just feels really, really long.
I think they can probably easily cut 5 minutes from this movie by just shortening some sequences here or there.
A lot of the back and forth between
a couple
speed
seconds here, a couple seconds there, but overall, lengthwise, I don't see a huge issue with this movie.
I don't know. It just kind of feels very much 2 hours and 15 minutes.
And Max, you correct me if I'm wrong, would have preferred maybe plucking some of these spritel scenes.
They were okay.
Or perhaps reordering them.
Yeah, there were maybe just one or two too many instances of the of the cuts back to him, and they're used effectively for a lot of times, but but sometimes they're just a little bit too long or too many. And as much as I do like that monologue by Royalton, it does go on for a while to the point where I'm like, stocks.
Because they show an entire race as part of this is what's going to happen to you, spooky, scary, intimidating monologue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then it cuts back and he's still going.
And he's still going about, Right? So, just I wouldn't cut anything, but it could use some trimming.
Yeah, I think you can cut 2 or 3 seconds here or there,
and you probably take off 10
in a lot of instances.
In a lot of instances, and that would
have an aggregate shortening.
You have aggregate shortening of the movie is really what it would be.
Yeah, too much of that the Freebird sequence is long.
It's a little it's longer than it needs to be to still be funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could have just cut to the scene of them Muppet Manning it and finding the sky or the spear hook thing, and that would have been fine.
Yeah, although I feel like the Freebird scene would have been a hilarious quick cut if it was only just a couple of seconds long.
Like,
Yeah. But obviously Freebird and just them just going nuts. I think that
Yeah.
would have been just as effective while still being very short relative to how long it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you guys would entertain me, I have some interesting facts here that I would like to just spit out before we go because I thought they were kind of cool. So John Gaeta, who is the visual effects supervisor on this movie, he unsurprisingly also worked on The Matrix, for which he won an Oscar for visual effects on The Matrix.
Rightly deserved. Wait, the first one?
It says The Matrix.
The Matrix, then
Yeah. Chad Stahelski, the supervising stunt coordinator, was Keanu Reeves' stunt double for the Matrix trilogy.
Yeah, the Wachowskis, like many directors, have their
crew, right?
Their crew.
Their go-to dudes and ladies. And finally, I thought this was kind of cool. So the stunt coordinator in this film, David Leitch, I don't know how to say that, directed Deadpool 2, which is incredible, and Atomic Blonde, which is a ton of fun.
Oh, I love Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, it was great.
And the upcoming, James, get this, The Division movie.
There's a Division movie?
It's coming out.
I actually want to see that movie.
Yeah.
I think the Division story is
It's a great story.
It's a cool story.
Tom Clancy does the video?
Yeah.
I think
Dribber,
that,
dribber, dribber.
I mean, I think they
Yeah,
threw
but yes.
they threw Tom Clancy's name on there because Tom Clancy's name got thrown on like everything towards the end of his life.
Oh yeah, any
staple it.
SWAT or tactical
Or a stamp?
Yeah, basically. Yep.
kind of video game.
Is he on Splinter? Is his name on Splinter Cell?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Tom
I was
Clancy's
just like,
Splinter Cell. Voiced by Michael Ironside, for Sam Fisher
Yeah.
anyway, from
Alfred.
our what?
Here's Alfred.
Michael
Yeah.
Ironside? No. You're thinking Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
No, Michael Ironside was
He's from
he's
Starship
in
Troopers.
Starship Troopers. I can't remember the character's name.
Radek.
Yes. Yeah.
Rajek.
And I'm certain.
Oh, yeah.
I'm certain we made that connection on that recording as well. Anyway.
Probably.
All right. That's it. End of fact. dump.
All right. That wraps up another episode of Good Brews, Bad Views. Thank you all for tuning in and maybe watching and maybe drinking along with us. As always, please like and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you're streaming this podcast or downloading this podcast from. Give us a follow on Twitter or Facebook at GBBV Podcast, or on Instagram, where we post a bunch of cool photos of beers we are drinking and places we go to visit.
And occasionally random unplanned videos of me comparing beers that I don't care for. in
People
a
like that
specific,
video.
in a specific style.
Yeah, we made Ryan drink 2 IPAs, which, as we know, he does not particularly care for.
First world problems.
Yep. Send us your hate mail and all that jazz at goodbrewsbadviews@gmail.com. And a special thank you to everyone who took the time to fill out our Good Brews Bad Views listener survey that we put out on episode 50.
Right. First and foremost, thank you for listening. Just
Yeah.
any and every single one of you poor bastards who subjects yourselves to us. But also thank you for spending that extra time.
Yeah, we've
to fill
gotten
out
some
surveys.
great feedback from that, and we'll be taking some steps to implement some of those things that everyone's been
I'm
talking
installing the ejector seat under James as we speak.
Yep. We can call it the Baloo button.
Blue button. Anytime he makes a blue pun,
Blew him out of the
here.
basement.
Yep.
All right.
Angry glares.
See you
from
guys
James.
later.
I mean, that's fine.
Bye.
All right. So as always,
Please watch.
and drink.
Responsibly.
Hey, thanks, James.